We got our own Clika. Strong Clika.
Clika. Clika. Clika. That's all we got is Clika. Clika. Clika.
Can you respect?
Yeah, they told me, are you fucking ready? I'm always ready, I keep it steady. I'm sorry that I'm cursing on the track. I'm cursed, man, I got to look back, but no take backs, no run back. I'm keeping it going, you already know, never stopping the flowing. You already know, man, sneaky, I'm growing. Yeah, I'm glowing in the dark, I'm radioactive, I'm ready to spark. Give me the blunt, give me the brew, heading to you. Give me the 2 turntables and a microphone though, and let me tell you no, let me do it really slow. Sneaky is the only MC you really need to know. Damn, I keep it together 365, 360 degrees, man. Always live my life, I'm always alive. I always be on the scheming with my teaming. Yeah, we dreaming. Oh, I'm the next level, telling everybody get the shovel. I'm about to bury you 6 feet under, but you gonna dig for me. That's right, I don't do the work, I just do the strategy. Simplistically, everything comes naturally to me. Yeah, so I open my third eye, look into the future, trying to tell all my goons this the suture. Yo, man, the Kama Sutra, sexual with the flow. You already fucking know. Verbs and nouns, yeah, I'm lyrical. I string it all together. I'm fucking trying to go out the weather. A little under the weather. My nose is clogged, yo, let me blow it. I hope I didn't blow it, cause I fuck up the flow. But it's a freestyle, top of the dome. I didn't wrote it, I didn't write it, and I just wrote it. The beat, man, I keep on riding. I go like a night rider. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
Hell yeah, nice, hell yeah.
Good shit, bro.
Welcome to Clika Podcast.
What's up? How's everybody
What's going
doing?
on, everybody?
You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I guess. My name is Ryan Perez, but most people know me as Sneaky. I'm a DJ, MC, and community event organizer here in the Los Angeles area. And yeah, I'm just here to have a conversation with you nice gentlemen. Thank you for the invitation. I appreciate it.
Hell yeah,
Welcome,
welcome.
man. Hell yeah, welcome, man. Hell yeah.
That was fucking tight, dude.
It was not my best work, but you know.
Good shit, bro.
Hey.
Man, it's better than us.
Better than any fucking shit on the radio.
Better than mine. Like, yo, I'm Rick.
Yeah.
That's it, nigga.
It's just one of those things as an MC, like I kind of pride myself on being like, oh, are you ready? Oh, I'm always ready. I could, do it now.
Hell
But
yeah, dude.
sometimes I'm just lazy though, and I'd be like, man, y'all ain't paying me to rap right now.
Well, that flow gets the honorary position on my laptop here with our sticker.
Nice.
The sneaky sticker on the laptop.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Hopefully I have room.
Okay, so
I know
not
that.
only do we have Sneaky in the house, we have a new podcast member. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Anthony Martinez, just joining La Clika, and I was here before with my band Midnight Motives, and they interviewed me, and now I'm back as a member.
Hell yeah.
So
Welcome to
Hell
Clika.
yeah, welcome,
That's
homie.
the way
hey,
the world
thank you
works
for
out.
thank you for bringing me in.
Yeah, dude. We jumped him in earlier.
Yeah, how was that?
So-
He's bruised right now, man. He's trying to like.
I mean,
relax.
my lungs kind of hurt. This fucker kicked me in the ribs, but
So let's do a contest. Let's do a contest.
all right.
Okay,
A contest.
yeah, we're gonna do a contest for all you listeners out there. Leave in the comments to the video wherever you heard this. Leave the comments. How should we initiate this guy into the Clika?
Oh fuck. Hey man.
Yeah,
Hey
we-
man.
we-
No.
some
The
fucking
He needs to do a drive-by.
hell yeah.
Oh,
the
no.
best comment, the best idea
Best idea with stickers.
wins good vibes from Clika.
Good
Good
vibes.
vibe.
Oh, yeah,
We'll let
package.
them buy us Korean barbecue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dang, you like Korean barbecue?
Yeah.
I love Korean
Yeah.
barbecue.
Fucking A, dude.
Shout out to Mr. Lee's.
we gotta
Shout out
take
to
it
Mr.
with
You been to
Lee's.
Mr. Lee's?
Nah.
Dude.
All right, we're going after?
$11. I'm down.
No, word.
Yep. $11 fucking dollars. All you can eat there, dude.
Nah.
And it's good shit. It's not cheap shit, dude.
Yeah, how's the ambiance?
It's
Not
crowded and loud.
It's not bad, dude. It's
cool.
It's a good mix.
Hey, you know what? I'm always down for Korean barbecue. And
All right, fuck the podcast. Let's go.
Let's go.
And you heard the podcast.
yeah, we'll be back next week with the part 2 of this shit.
Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, we are mobile. We can podcast from there.
yeah,
We
but
can do it.
Imagine.
yeah, but
Facebook
no.
Live that motherfucker.
One day.
Hey, we gotta
we'll
we gotta
be able
wait
to
for
buy the
that.
spot out.
The other one, I don't know if you mentioned it yet.
Which one?
Yeah.
We're gonna have Sneaky Flow over some short ribs.
What? Hey, you know what though? Like when I get too full, like I don't like to perform when I'm too full. So I might be like too food coma to rap it.
That's like a down ass name instead of too short, too full.
Just like he's gonna be like hunger pains. I'm only happy when it rains.
And now
My
I'm
shirt got
stuffed
barbecue stains.
with barbecue sauce.
All right, so tell us, how long have you been in the game?
Well, I used to sing in the choir as a small child.
Oh shit.
So it starts there, I guess. That's usually where I start talking about it. But really, I mean, if I had to, like, just for the purpose of this podcast, I would say I was in a band when I was 14, and when I was in high school, and I think I kind of like that's the start for me. You know, I was playing shows, promoting, like passing out flyers, trying to sell tickets. So I kind of feel like that's where the music really started for me. I used to play trumpet in a ska core band,
Oh, shit.
or hardcore ska band. So
What was the name of the band?
La Pobresca.
Pobresca.
Yeah,
I love those names, dude.
That's a
Pobresca.
fucking cool fucking
Mata Mosca.
yeah.
Chincha berrinche.
So it was like this, you know,
La Esencia.
Yep.
it was like this pseudo revolutionary
Hell
ska
yeah.
band, you know, like talking about injustice and all that, and we were just like young kids just trying to do the damn thing. And yeah, that's where I really started music. That's kind of where I got all my first introduction to like working with people musically and trying to like figure out ideas and also performance and stage presence. I wasn't really a good musician. I mean, I still have my trumpet, but I don't really play. Like, it's kind of a dream for me to bring it back and try to incorporate it into
I was
like
just gonna ask you if you're gonna ever play.
yeah,
that
I
shit
mean,
again.
that's the plan. I mean, I practice like once every like 3 years, but
You're a busy man, huh?
yeah, well, you know, or lazy, however you have, busy, lazy, whatever.
I go with busy, man.
Yeah, so I was in the band, and then you know, as bands do, drama happens, and like I broke off, and me and my boy from the band, we started like DJing and shit. Me and my homie Richie, we just were like, all right, well, fuck this like show shit. Let's like start, you know, doing house parties and clubs, and he taught me how to DJ, and we were a DJ duo, and then DJing kind of got all fucked, you know, same party crew, like same kind of shit from the band, you know, like just working with people, especially when you're young and like on like alcohol and drugs and like not making good decisions.
And girls.
And there's no like,
Girls.
yeah,
fuck
I don't know how you knew. I didn't want to
know.
say it. I didn't know how you knew.
Girls
I
always
know.
fuck shit up.
Yeah.
I've been there, man.
And also like no real vision, right? Like just a young kid like trying to do the damn thing, have fun, play parties. So that didn't work, and then I felt like I was stuck and I needed a voice, and I had these like amazing musicians around me that were like kind of just down to rock, and started writing music, and my boy Richie had start producing, so he had like little samples and beats for me, and I had, you know, like I make up bass lines, and we started writing hooks, and then eventually it became like kind of a therapy, just to kind of all the last whatever, all the trauma, and just getting it out. And then showed it to the band, and they were super about like rocking with me, and I put together this dope band that would become the Midnight Motives eventually.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
You're talking about those guys.
Those guys, yeah.
Okay.
Fucking hated that name, man.
Well, it was a
I had to bring it
joke.
up. I had to bring it
It
up.
was a joke, just like Sneaky was a joke. I'm glad that those guys didn't stick though.
Speaking about your, what do you mean like a joke? Like your name? What does your name mean?
Honestly, when I started, like when I was still kind of in the band, transitioning from band to DJ, I had a homegirl that me and her would roll to parties together, and we just had this inside joke about like, how this was so sneaky, and like watching Mr. Deeds and just being stoned and driving around, like just kind of like between us, the sneakiness, sneaky, and this whole like, it was just funny.
Fucking badass.
And then like when people started like trying to put me on flyers, like that was the name I used, because it was just like, you know, between me, it was like an inside joke type shit, and I didn't really think it was gonna go anywhere. And then yeah, it's fucking
Years
it's,
Years later, here
It's
we
a
are.
dope name.
yeah, 10 years later here we are.
Yeah, I kept on throwing it off with Schneeberg.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
So if you ever need a German rap name, Schneeberg.
That way they can relate. Maybe I'll write it. Like my tour will be the Schneeberg tour.
There it is.
When I go to
dude.
Germany, you know.
Sponsored by Schneeberg
Sneaky, sponsored by Schneeberger.
and the La Clika Podcast.
Yeah, one of the cool things about, you know, me joining La Clika today is that I've actually worked with this guy. The day I met him, we were chilling at one of the guys that was from La Pobresca. And this dude starts telling me, yeah, I want to do this hip-hop shit. You know, I need a guitarist. And I'm like, dude, I'm a fucking guitarist. And I don't know how many times I kept telling him, like, I'll do guitars for it. I'll do guitars. Years fucking later, he didn't even remember who the fuck I was.
Damn.
But they brought me up in the studio, and then they pulled me in to do what was the collaboration with Shneaky.
Yeah.
And that's when that blew up. We started doing that shit.
Well, this was known me since I was a little kid, dog. So it's like I have a horrible memory.
Yeah.
The whole pot.
Dude, when did all this start with you?
Well, so I graduated high school 07.
What school?
HP.
Fucking
In the house. In the house.
Spartan.
Hey, what track were you, though?
C track.
Boo. It's all about B-track, homie.
B-tracker.
The best track.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Be for the best.
Why do I feel like you set me up for that, dog? C track was cool track, homie. Cool track.
You cool, but we the best, you know?
Yeah,
Huntington Park,
I'd rather
huh?
be cool.
Huntington Park made you, huh?
Yeah, honestly, yeah, because before I went to HP, I was in private school my whole life, and so that shit was like a bubble pop wake up call. Like, oh shit, there's people living like this out here. So definitely shaped a lot of like my social justice views, just like the privilege and seeing the difference, and just noticing how behind people were and how packed everything was.
Yeah.
The fact that there were tracks, right? Because now, have you been to HP recently? It's fucking beautiful, dude.
The charter school,
Really?
all right?
Well, there's so many it's not a charter school, but there's so many charter schools around it that it's alleviated the amount of students. So now like they can clean in the summers, and they take the gum out, and they have like, you know, there's no graffiti, and like they have robotics like after school programs, and there's like a college going culture now. Like my homegirl that graduated my same year is actually a college counselor there. Damn. And I've actually gone a couple times to represent UC San Diego as like in a college fair to be like, hey, here's the school, I went there, it's fucking dope.
Really?
Chicks,
It's a
weather.
fucking party school.
See, we always get the bad stuff, man. I mean, just like, dude, the Roaches were on B track. They had year-round Roaches. I mean, they C-track Roaches, A-track Roaches.
Yeah.
The year after I graduated, they put up that fence.
The closed canvas.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, because I bet someone from your year came and jacked all the recording studio like instruments.
No, I know who that was.
No,
And he's a closer friend of y'all.
He was a PE teacher. Remember, Mr.
This was putting him on blast.
I'm like, I'm going through my head like, wait.
Remember Mr. Saunders? Mr. Saunders, the PE teacher?
Nah, I don't remember that dude.
No, he was way before you. He was probably about Rick's year. He got arrested for stealing all the audio video equipment.
Oh, wow. Shit. Damn.
Yeah, he went to prison for that shit, dude.
And he's telling everybody he's a shit.
Maybe we shouldn't be saying this information out here, but
He's went.
Hey, y'all are the ones who said we can talk about whatever, dog.
He was already convicted. He's convicted.
Public
Okay,
knowledge, bro.
okay,
Public
okay.
knowledge.
Yeah.
okay, all right.
The stipulation passed already.
He's probably on parole right now.
So I do have one question for you.
Okay.
What influenced the type of rap, hip hop, the lyricism you have behind you?
Honestly, like I grew up listening to like conscious hip hop that had a message and stuff that I used to empower me and made me feel like we could make a difference, or like that a change was necessary. You know, I feel like I grew up on like conscious rap.
It's like some Most Def type shit.
Most
Some
Def, Salif
Technique,
Kweli, Immortal
Immortal.
Technique, Black Star.
And we got the Rage in there.
Well, yeah, and then on the band side, like that's kind of I've always been influenced by like alternative music and bands and stuff. So Rage Against the Machine, Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit. You put up that post about Limp Bizkit. I was fucking a Limp Bizkit fan, dog. Like no shame right there.
That was
dog.
all Chris right there, dude.
This guy's also like a Coheed and Cambria fan.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of different music, so I think like all of that stuff influences my rap style, my storytelling, kind of how I conceptualize albums as well. Since I grew up listening to like concept albums, like Coheed and their whole comic book, or like listening to freaking Dark Side of the Moon, like these albums that were kind of meant, to be listened to whole. It's kind of like, and I was just having this conversation with folks on my podcast yesterday about how like no one listens to albums anymore. Albums are like, it's a dead art, and even if the people that do still do it, the audience is not really like there with them. So
that's what we're talking about.
It's a short attention span generation. Is what it is.
That's what I was telling them, that we miss the albums. Playing from freaking first song all the way to the end.
Because it's cheaper to make a single.
Kick
that's what
back
it is.
and just smoke.
It's easier too, right?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't hit, cool. Like if you make a whole album of non-hitters, like what did it's like, oh, that's just one flop. The next one will be something completely different.
Well, back then it felt like they're just filling a slot. They had to have so many songs,
right?
So like, this one's good to go, but they quite didn't finish a song before they put it out.
Not only that, it cuts off on artist development. If you don't make it on your single, you're out the next year. Like there wouldn't be no Badana, like we were talking about last time, because Badana didn't hit until their third album.
Yeah, and I heard Led Zeppelin used to like make albums. They didn't concentrate on singles. They wanted to make an album. Yeah. They were like, let's make that one. No, every song is gonna be a hit. Well,
the incentive was different as well, I feel like, because, and I was, again, this is something that I was just talking about with, some of the artists that I hang out with, about how back in the day, I put out 2 projects this year. I put out one in January, and then I put another one out like in May or June.
Okay.
Back like 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, that would have been a huge accomplishment. Yeah. I would have been touring or like performing and promoting those records still. Like I would have been on this podcast talking about, that album I put out in the year, come check out the show. But now it's like, I feel like I haven't done enough. It feels like that was so long ago. Everybody is kind of like, I heard that already. Like that, like that album, that's like, where's the new shit? And it's like, you can't like, you can't ride off of it so long. You can't sustain performances. I mean, unless you're already big and you have like the machine behind you, it's a lot harder to like really tour an album and push an album like that. And people do it. I'm not saying it's not getting done, but I feel like artists, I feel like I feel like I have more pressure on me to put out new stuff than to keep promoting and performing old stuff, especially if most of the shows I'm going to are like the same people following me, like my following.
You gotta feed your followers constantly.
You just gotta be prolific, man. That's all what it is in the music. No matter what, you just gotta keep doing it.
Right.
As many years as you can, as much as you can, till you just say, damn.
But that's the thing. You just used to be able to take years off and wait, and like then when you came back, people were like, "Oh yeah, I remember you." But now it's like, "Who the fuck are you? Oh, you still do music? Crazy."
Start all over again.
Well, not only that, I mean, the music was there. The money was there, and then the listeners were there. So you could sell albums. You could, and then you just live off the album sales and the tour sales. And now it's just like everything's free, and you gotta tour constantly.
Way more competition too.
Yeah, a lot more competition.
So when did you record your first hip hop song, and what inspired it, and what song was it?
So the first song I ever made was "Can't Run Back."
Can't Run Back. I remember that one. It was a good one.
Yeah.
What was it about?
It was actually inspired like through a situation I was going with, where a girlfriend of mine had hooked up with a friend of mine, and then like there was like this in between where there was like uncertainty about who she was gonna end up with or how, and that I got to like, it got really bad, as situations like that often do, right?
It's called HP, dude.
Just fucking LA in general, like Southeast LA, everybody's all crammed in, like anyway.
Small world.
Yeah, but I mean, and there was like a lot of shady, scandalous shit that went into that, and again, it was at a time where I was like doing this whole DJ. I felt like a super cool, a lot of ego, like a lot of and felt invincible, and I was also not moving in the best of ways. I was being my own shady character, and mix that with like alcohol and drugs and not sleeping and like, you know, all these intense emotions. It just kind of got to a boiling point where I was like, yo, I got to step away from this whole world because, you know, like my car got busted. Like, you know, like there was like real life consequences that were no longer like in the realm of like childhood shit. Like there was like threats of violence. You know, there was like a possibility where the whole shit could have just got blown up and someone had to be like, yo, this, you know. And so I stepped back and I just remember like being like really depressed about the whole thing. Like I felt like my whole life was over. You know, this DJ party lifestyle that I've been living for the past 2 years was just now over, or like was never going to be the same. And at the same time I felt like betrayed, and I also felt like a piece of shit because of my part in the whole thing, you know. So there's all these mixed emotions. And I just remember like I still wanted to do music. Like that was still something that I had like a still urge I had in me. And I also wanted to like get back at these people that I felt had wronged me. And also this was like in the MySpace days, so already like the social media like stuff going around about me and her and them, like just kind of in a like, you know how shit goes fucking, and now like stuff will spread through your
everybody knows
your business,
right. So this was like the beginning of that, but no one really knew that it was happening like that yet. We didn't realize, but I felt like I needed to like put my side of the story out there, but I didn't want to do it petty in like a bulletin or you know,
right along that.
So
you did it the sneaky way.
So
you're very sneaky about that.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking sneaky.
Who produced it?
My boy Richie Jams, actually. He came up with the guitar part. You know, once you kind of had that rhythm, I was writing to it. We dropped the drums behind it. I wrote the hook. Originally the hook was like a verse that I was like, oh no, this is the part that I want to say over and over again to people. Can't run back, you know. And it became like this anthem about how like, oh, I'm not gonna go back to her or that lifestyle, or even putting myself in situations like that, and just trying to like let everybody know like, yo, there was shady shit on both sides, and I'm not the fucking chump here, because you know that's how it looks like when the girl chooses the other dude. It's always like, oh, that was a loser.
He's fucking up.
And they're, you know, like history's written by the victors, right? They get to write the story. They get to be the two of them. Oh, what happened with? Oh, well, you know, this fool had a small dick and didn't fuck me right, and he's fucking asshole and he's emo and this is all this weird music, you know, like they get to fucking write their story. So I had to tell my story, and I had,
rightfully so, man.
And I had a studio.
And
I had a homie that was like, yo, I'm fucking doing music right now. Like, if you're not going to be DJing, like, let's fucking do some shit. And that was the first song. And then once, like, I had that down and I had so much work on it, like, my brother helped me mix it. Raul helped me mix it. And Damon came in, like, did vocals and helped me with the vocals. And, like, everybody kind of, like, saw, like, the kind of skeleton of it. And then once that was kind of solid, I was like, well... And I put it out on MySpace and a player, and like it was going around, and homie was like, oh, I'm glad you put that out, bro. Like, yeah, tell your shit. And I'm just like, yeah, fool, whatever, dog. And it was going around, and like it I started showing it to people, and people were like, oh, this is actually pretty good. Like, this sounds like, you know, like it's that kind of thing where people kind of underestimate you, and then they're like, oh shit, like it's not good, but it's not bad either, you know.
But to give you that respect,
or that like a little confidence booster, like, oh, maybe this is something. So then from that, I started working on the next track, which was Lyrical Warfare. And that one was more like, it was more me, you know. I came up with the bass line, and the drum pattern was more based on something that I had been kind of playing with. And it was like the same thing. Like, I saw the success of that song, and I was like, okay, well, this is the follow-up where it's like, this is going to be my dude. I'm gonna be using my words to attack you. I'm gonna be using my music because like you fools can't do this shit type shit, you know, like. And then
that's what got you going.
The lyrical warfare.
That was lyrical warfare, like using literally like create like a war based on like lyrical assault that like
unseen shit
that they can't even combat because they can't do it. It's like you fools can't even step to this shit. Like meet me in the interwebs.
I saw a bunch of microphones hitting.
So like you told your personal story, and I was like, this is me. This is my lyrical side.
Exactly.
I'm about to fuck everybody up, and this is pretty much what got you into the whole scene, right?
This was like the demo that would eventually. So after those two songs, I met 5826. J26. Well, he was 5826 back then, but now he's J26. Shout out Jay. What's up, my boy? Yeah. So at that point, he was working on a project for school or something where he had to like
Some extra credit shit.
No, he had to interview like fools in the studio. Like he had like some kind of project, and he chose like music and studio and like and then also it because he's a rapper and he was actually super talented dude. Since the first day I met him, like he had that thing. You know, I feel like I was always trying to find my voice, and even now I don't really know.
He
like
boosted you. He got you in there. Like,
but I saw he was dope, and I was like, dude, this was dope. And he liked my style for whatever reason, and so we ended up working on a track together, and that was The Code.
Oh, okay.
And then those first 3 songs became the Sneakiness EP, and that was what like
Sneakiness, hell yeah.
Yeah, and that's
the sneaky shit.
And my goal was like, so basically January 1st, 2000 and the fuck year was it? 2008, 2009, January 1st, 2009. I was like, yo, we're gonna do, or no, it was 9 going into 10. So it was 2010, January 1st. I had like a New Year's resolution. I was at a rave. I was all fucked up.
You had a rapolution.
I was like, I was just contemplating my life, and I was like, dude, like, you know, this music. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this thing where I'm gonna put out a 3-song demo, put together a band, and by my birthday we're gonna rock a show, and we'll see what happens.
That's fucking cool, man.
And that's what it did.
That's cool that you had a goal, man. Like most people don't, you know, they just say they're gonna do it. You said you're gonna do it, and you did it.
Yeah, dog. And then
did it.
And I literally came home from the rave, and these fools had been partying the night before. They were still at the pad. Well, Anthony wasn't there yet because we hadn't called him yet. But like my brother and Kevin were there, because at that point, like Kevin lived there, so it was like these fools had party the night before I showed up, and I was like, yo, like, I need a band, bro. Like, I'm gonna do this rap shit, and they're just like, yeah. Like I don't know if they really knew the gravity of what. I don't know. They knew how down I was. Yeah. I don't know if they saw the fire,
like the
or if they were just
like Tupac,
they were still hung over from the night before or whatever. But like they were down.
They were those guys.
They were those guys.
Literally, dog. They were those guys, and fucking, I put out those 3 songs, and you know, I showed them the tracks and. They flipped them quick, and then they were like, yo, we can't just do 3. Like, if we're gonna play a show, it's got to be like 6 or 8, or it's got to be like a full hour, because that back then bands actually played full hour sets. You remember those days when bands got to do full hours? Oh shit. But
Salud.
So they learned the songs. We wrote a couple other songs. Fucking other people contributed to like other songs, and then we played that show, man. We had like 200 people come out. We were able to donate money to cancer.
What was the show at?
It was actually on Avenue 26 at this place called UVLA, which doesn't exist anymore. But it was like you remember that shit? It was like a condo, but they had like a venue space. It was like everybody in the complex had access to it, and it was like studio space and shit.
I remember that shit.
Well, Clemente from La Resistencia used to fucking book shows there. Oh wow. So I hit him up and I was like, look, I know like we have our history, whatever, and you don't know shit about me, but like I'm gonna fucking, like, it's my birthday show.
Tear the shit
and like it's new music. I'm gonna promote it to like all the chicks I know. Like I'm gonna have like my all my people.
Drive, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good show. Like I know it's not, you know, because whenever you're working with venues, it's always like numbers and tickets and sales.
You have to 15 tickets.
And I get that, but I was like, man, like help me out, you know. And I was playing, and he was cool with my brother and other people in the band, so like he did me a solid, and it was dope.
Fuck yeah.
And he even told me, he's like, yo, it's like the hottest girls I've seen in this place, because they used to do like ska and punk shows, you know. We brought like the club chicks, so
they had bikinis and shit.
And that was the spark. That's how it all started, and that was the demo that I showed to.
Did you imagine it was gonna get to this point, man, like that, or did you have a vision saying, okay, it's gonna?
I mean, I feel like it's hard, like, because I feel like everybody says it, you know. You're just like, we're gonna be rock stars. We'll play Coachella. We're gonna sell 1 million copies. You know, like
the overdream.
Yeah. So like on some level, I said it, and I believed I had a vision. But at the same time, like as you're saying it, there's like a little doubt in your mind where you're like, you know what? Even if it doesn't happen, this is probably like one of the single most tightest things that I've ever done at this point in my life, and like. Something that like I'm honored, and like it's a blessing to have been part of, you know,
because
like
the right people around you too.
It was all like it all just came together, and we called this motherfucker Anthony because literally we had a guitarist and life shit, you know. He just couldn't get it together. Like I don't know if it was drugs or alcohol. Like I'm not sure.
Hell yeah, that's what it was.
But like, you know,
let's make it official.
It wasn't Schneeberg.
Welcome to the drug cast.
I don't know what it was, because honestly, like at that time I wasn't as like involved with the people I work with. I was kind of more still like in my own head, and he it was just, I remember that like he just wasn't going to be playing for us anymore. And we were like, yo, we need a guitarist for this record. Like, who are we going to call? My brother had a list of people. And I was like, you know what? Like, you know that dude, Anthony? Like, I keep seeing that fool. And he's telling me like he wants to play guitar for us. Like, let's call that fool. And
What's up, Anthony?
And my brother's like,
Here, doggy.
my brother's like, Anthony, for real? I'm like, dog, just trust me, dog. He said he's down.
Yeah.
And that fool showed up and he started tracking that day, dog.
Wow.
Hey, dude, not only tracking, but I get there, I'm tracking, I have a fucking camera taking pictures, and they're taking video at the same time. I'm like, fuck, dude.
I was
like shaking, dude. I was like, what the fuck's going on? Like, I thought I was just going to show up and like, oh, check out these tracks. You know, what do you think? Mm-hmm. You think you come up with some shit?
It was like,
and
it just
sure
started
enough,
happening.
And I was a fucking rhythm guitarist.
Oh, okay.
So when I got into this project, that's what pushed me to become a lead guitarist. That's when I started learning fucking all these scales, and you got to go into fucking circle of fifths and learning all this fucking bullshit about being a real guitarist, you know, not just power chords. And
You just felt like a proper guitarist.
Yeah, being in this project is what pushed me to be the guitarist I am now.
So you came in like an airborne soldier and jumped out of the fucking parachute, bam, right into fucking action.
Yeah. Then became a lieutenant, just landed like a lieutenant.
Hey, he said he was down, dog, and he did not disappoint, bro. He was fucking. He lived up to his
It's probably
word,
the
man.
only time you heard that in HP. Somebody's down and actually came through. Dude.
How you gonna trash our city like that, dog? I put that city on my back, homie. I come through in HP, dog. What's up?
That's your generation.
All right.
The generation I came through with.
Generational gap.
Yep.
Let me ask you a question. Now, you wear many hats. You do a lot of things.
I do.
So what artistic release gives you the most fulfillment?
Rapping on stage, dog, with a band, preferably.
There's like an energy that goes behind that. You just feel that shit.
The dynamic, the show, being able to like put the mic down, turn my back, and like walk to the drummer and know that the audience is still being entertained because there's a whole ensemble of folks that are like, wow, and fucking my brother's rocking out and like everybody's raging, you know, like. So like personally, being able to rap with a band and like see the people, like even when we played shows when no one was there, like we literally played like Los Globos empty. We played this art show like empty, but like just when you know you're fucking like you hear it in how it's supposed to be, like everybody's hitting their parts and fucking I'm not so drunk that I'm not fucking up my parts and like I'm hitting all my shit and I'm having perfect breath control and like I'm hitting all the pauses, I'm in the pocket. That's just there's no better feeling than that. Like I mean, and I do a lot of cool shit. DJing's also fun, but it's like it's not your music that these people are rocking out to. Like it's cool to get a dance floor and have people turn and have people be like, yeah, DJ, fuck yeah. Like it's a good feeling to be like, oh, okay, like me and this people are on the same page. Like they're fucking down with all the tracks I'm playing. Like this is cool. This is fun. But it's not, at the end of the day, it's not my shit that they're turning up to. So when I get to do my own original music,
it's not the same satisfaction.
and it's hitting all those points and we're on point and everything's perfect.
You're on cloud nine.
Hell yeah. Even if there's two people, like you say, for fuck it, I'm gonna make those fucking people happy.
Dude, that day we played Los Globos, it was empty, and after we got off, the sound engineer and the bartender and the security guard were like, yo, dude,
Hell yeah.
you guys are good. Like, we hear a lot of people come through here, and like, you guys are good. And it's like, all right, well, fuck it, we did it for those guys then, you know? Like,
when you get props from the people working there, that's some shit.
yeah, because they hear shit. They're so like tone deaf already, right? Like they've heard. They're like they're immune to it already. It's like white noise, but
these motherfuckers again.
And then they like, oh shit. They come out of the bathroom. They're taking a piss. Like, oh shit, who's that? They run out.
Even the last time when we rocked recently, Alex's bar, or where did we play in Long Beach? Where I opened up for you guys.
That wasn't in Long Beach. That was Downey.
No, Downey.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, anyway, I remember being out there.
North Long Beach.
Alex's bar.
Or was it Alex's bar? Remember the one you promoted on the show?
You didn't open up for us there?
No.
No. You're talking about the one in Downey off of Firestone. That's not Alex's bar.
All right.
That's the one that what's his name throws.
We're gonna have to look it up.
Is that the New Wave bar?
No.
Nah.
That's
But anyway,
ain't that Lakewood?
the point of my story, since I fucked it up, was that like we rocked, and there was like, you know, people weren't really there to see us, but there was a couple people in the house, and by the end of my set, like They were like
You got
bobbing
your
their
props.
heads. Yeah, I went to go drink in the bar. Oh, where are all your friends at? They missed out on a really good show. This, and that. And
You're
I'm just
talking
like,
about Boomers cocktails.
that's the one.
Oh, okay.
See,
Boomers.
Boomer.
and that's why he's part of La Clica
Boomers
now.
cocktails.
He researched.
Where's
Yeah.
Boomers at?
That shit's on Del Amo, Long Beach.
So I was right about the.
I was gonna say, wait, isn't there Boomer here in Long Beach?
I never heard of that fucking place.
Dude, it's a
Yeah.
fucking super dive bar. There was like everybody there was like 50 plus,
And they
shit.
were getting fucking turned.
Yeah,
like on a weekday, they were just like,
I literally lived across the street from that place. I know exactly what you're talking about, dude.
well, we rocked it and you weren't
Hell
there.
yeah.
So
I know, man.
shout
Fucking
out,
hell, dude.
shout out La Clica.
Dude, I fucking helped like this 60-year-old man into the fucking Uber. He was like falling over. The bench he was sitting on, he left his phone there.
Oh, fuck.
And some girl was trying to help him up because he was fucked up.
That's a good
but he was
show.
trying to be like, nah, I don't need your help. Trying to be like, I'm tough.
That's a
you
damn
know?
good show,
But
man.
then as soon as I grabbed him and it wasn't a girl, he was like, oh, I need your help. You know, like he's like, help me, bro.
Nah, me, I got this.
Yeah, and
He's like,
I remember.
save me.
I remember running to the fucking Uber because he left his phone on the fucking right there on the bench, and I was like, "Hey, boom, boom, boom." I was like, "You left your phone." He was like, "Oh, thank you." Like he was fucked up. I'm surprised if he didn't throw up in that
Damn,
fucking
that's gonna
Uber.
be
Hey, dog, he's
That's
got
gonna be-
experience,
He was
60
an
years at
old
that
dude,
point.
man.
Lumped it
That's
up.
gonna be me at 60 right there.
Fuck no, dog. I hope you know how to fucking regulate your alcohol by the time you're 60.
I think I will.
by the time you're 59,
Keyword think. That fool was not
Yeah.
even sure. He's like,
Yeah, he's like,
maybe I will. Maybe.
I'll try my best. So hopefully by then, by the time you're 60, there's some device that tells you, all right, too much.
Yeah. I think I have my wife there. Yeah, cálmate.
Nah,
ya estufas,
In that case,
I was gonna
first
say
beer-
the device is called your wife.
yeah, there you go.
They have they just have a drink that will sober you up. It's like you'll be at the bar getting fucked up. I gotta go home. All right, here you go, sir.
Oh, shit.
All right.
They have a
See
powder
y'all
that will
tomorrow.
sober you up.
I thought it was Schneesberg.
dude, but I fucking remember playing when we played that place. It was like super dive bar, dude. Like, and on a weekday, right?
yeah. Like a
And,
Wednesday or Thursday.
Our drummer Kevin, he's like, "Hey, dude, we can get a residency here." And I was like, "What the fuck for? Like, what?
You're paying for some geriatric
Yeah, like-
motherfuckers, dude.
Hey, but at the same time, I was like, yo, if they're gonna pay, fuck, I'll
might as
DJ
well.
here.
I live in Covina. I'm not gonna drive all the fucking way down here for that, you know?
$50 is $50, man.
Nah,
I'll take that.
wasting
Y'all
that-
can
wasting
stay
that
home.
fucking
Just
gas, bro.
gas.
I'll play
right
your
there.
songs for you as the DJ, just so I could drop it for you.
Yeah,
There's a place up the street right here, the Regal Inn.
Oh, the beautiful Regal Inn. Shout out to the Regal Inn.
It's a good place, dude.
Yeah, what I feel like you supposed to be
Quality.
sarcastic.
all right, Ryan. I have a question for you. I know
This
you're
guy
doing.
with the questions, man.
Well, this is what it's about.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
So, you know,
It's an interview.
all right. So
I thought it was a
I
conversation.
know you're doing your hip hop stuff, and you also have Sneaky Entertainment,
right.
Sneaky
Correct.
Ent.
Yes.
Going forward, what are you looking to do more? That aspect of it, or are you trying to go back to the hip hop scene? What's your focus?
Well, honestly, I got a lot in the works in all directions, and I'm planning to do as much as I possibly can, as long as I possibly can. I have music that I'm not supposed to be talking about that I'm working on. Sorry, y'all.
That's good. That's good.
And then,
We all got that.
Strip club music.
Yeah, not strip club music, unfortunately. Even though it'd probably make me more money.
That porn
But
music.
no, I got music in the works. I've already booked next year. I have 3 monthly events booked out all of next year. So plan to start promoting that real soon and actually get a head start and get people knowing that there's a fucking sneaky calendar of events, you know, and that's gonna be so you can plan ahead. And I don't want to hear none of that bullshit about you didn't know or it was last minute or you had something out. No, fool, we planned this shit 6 months ago. You know, this shit. My birthday's cracking in June. Nah, but no, seriously.
That sounds like Chris excuses, dude. Sorry.
What the fuck?
Hey, plus, they're already hearing it here, so
There's a
that's all
shirt that he
good.
has printed with all the excuses already.
Fucking shots fired. God damn, put on blast. I'm not even saying shit.
He's not even the guy being interviewed right now.
Fuck yeah. So,
So I also know you have that the thing going on at the Redwood Room.
Right, that's one of the events I was talking about. Yeah.
And what is it called?
It's called Speakeasy Maywood,
Okay.
and it happens every second
Nice.
Friday of the month. And the next one is, wait, what month are we in?
We're in
November.
November.
The next one's December 14th.
Okay.
And then 2019 is all booked out already. So
what is it about, man? What is this whole thing about?
So basically, when I got back to LA, there weren't a lot of places to perform that were like super open to artists, like without having to pay to play or without having like a cover. I kind of had this idea. Well, me and some other peeps that I was working with at the time kind of had this idea like, yo, let's make a free show, and we're basically gonna create a platform for like anybody to come and rock. Like obviously we're gonna vet them, we're gonna listen to their music, we're gonna see like what they're about. We're just gonna put together shows where basically you don't gotta pay to play. Sweet. And as long as you're 21, you don't have to pay to get in, and the drinks are going to be cheap. Like basically the perfect show. Like I thought, like, what's the perfect show? Like affordable drinks, no cover, and they let you smoke weed in the patio. Oh what? Shit. Yeah, that's the perfect show, right?
Damn.
So it's and the show's out in the patio. So basically, and it's like, I call it Speakeasy because if you walk into the Redwood room, it's like the bar room, and then you have to walk through a hallway to get to the restrooms, and you got to walk through another room to get out to the patio, and that's where the show's at.
Yeah.
So like, basically created a show where we can get fucking hip-hop artists, spoken word artists, poetry to be able to come drink for cheap, get it for free, blaze out, and try to like really build a community of people like in the city, in the scene, that like start knowing each other, to be like, hey, this is the spot, like and it's kind of worked out. Like we've been doing it a year now, and in the beginning I was like having to like search out for people to perform and like trying to like really do a lot of research, and now fucking people are coming to hit me up. I'm getting recommended. Like someone's like, hey, my homie's looking for a show, he's trying to do hip-hop. I'm like, dude, let me hear his shit. Like,
you're to connect,
put him on.
Build it, they will come.
And so that's kind of like, that was my first, and just for transparency's sake, like the bar pays me to put that on, because I met with the manager and she basically said like, yo, this bar used to just be like a regulars only bar. Yeah, and all the regulars are dying. Like, so we need to figure out.
Literally,
like,
you got to bring in new blood to there, man.
We need new. You know, we need to bring victims. In younger people who have like, you know, money to drink and
hell yeah, the
and
youth.
So,
all right. So I also know that you have this event going on. It's the East LA Art Walk.
Correct.
Yeah. What is that, and what kind of people does it bring? What do you expect when you go there? What's going on? Tell us the scene.
So the East Los Art Walk is actually a really interesting story. Basically it happens every second Sunday of the month, and it's from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. so it's like a daytime thing. And essentially what it is the business corridor on First Street in Indiana. Basically we're trying to find ways to like increase foot traffic and bring in new business and like try to find a way to survive the raising costs of everything, like with the gentrification and all of that, right? So they're like, and I guess this art walk had been something that used to happen very big in the past. They used to have a stage and it was like a big festival, but like 7-Eleven moved in, and the parking lot where they used to have the stage became the 7-Eleven parking lot, and they were like, well, you fools can't have a stage in our parking lot anymore. So then it kind of died out, and this organizer who owns a business on that street, his name's Quetzal. Shout out Quetzal. I don't know if y'all know Quetzal. He'd be a good guess. He basically started putting together this art walk where he would invite vendors, like basically like artists who handcrafted everything original. Nice. No China, no fabricated stuff, no mass productions. Everything is like,
so even artists, like actual painters and all that stuff.
Painters, sketch artists, people that are making like lotions and ointments.
Hell yeah!
Basically, like everything,
self promotion type,
kind of like a flea market art
the
walk.
community.
Yeah, so it's like an art walk that's like that's basically aimed at giving artisans a chance to make money and kind of like survive off their art, and then bring something nice to that section of East Los.
Bring some pride into that.
Yeah.
How's it happen? How's it going right now? Like, how's the response?
So honestly, it comes up and down, right? We've been doing it for a year now as well, because a lot of this stuff happened when I moved back from San Diego. So we've been at it a year. Really, the way I got involved is because my boy Cultivarte Studios, he's my screen printer. He makes all my merch. The homie, he was like really trying, because he's a vendor, so he was trying to go there and vend, and you know, from a business point of view, he wanted it to be an avenue to make income, and he was helping me out like with my branding and my merch, and he was being really helpful, like trying to get me in that business mindset of like, yo, you're gonna need to, you know, you need X amount. This is what the cost is. This is how much you need to invest. I'm down to hook you up with the labor. So we were like, we were scheming. We were scheming to be like, business partners.
He knew his shit. Like he knew his.
Yeah, he knows his shit. Yeah,
yeah.
he recently just quit his job and started going to Cal State LA to do business management.
Wow.
He basically living off of his shop. He does framing. He does screen printing, button making, stickers. He's like a really like handy craftsman, carpenter type dude. He makes the frames from scratch. Like he buys the wood and does the.
Wow. I need to talk to this guy because I'm an artist myself. So
yeah, dude. And then he has his own shop and he has a 6 color press and.
So he kind of reminds me of like you say you came from San Diego, so it's kind of like the Balboa Park thing, right? Where they do like this whole festival kind of thing.
They're like,
you want to bring it over here now.
Yeah, well they do. I mean, they have a bigger space, right?
Yeah.
So we're just kind of working with what we got in the hood. But essentially, he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna be at this art walk," and I was like, "Dude, you're helping me out. What if I just show up and DJ for you and try to like make it pop so that people will come to your booth?" Yeah.
Hell yeah. And it started working.
Honestly, it goes up and down. Like we've had super dope. For whatever reason, the event goes viral and there's like 800 people walking the streets. And other days we have like 50 people, 25 people. This last one, I mean, there was probably like 150, 200 people throughout the whole day. And we've kind of been upping up our game as far as like he's doing like brand building workshops now where you can come and create something from scratch, like using a stencil and then print it on something and walk away with a print of your own design. And
what about like music? Do you have like actual artists?
So we have rappers come out.
Yeah, okay.
I have DJs come out, and then so essentially the Art Walk already had its own little stage where they were doing artists.
Yeah.
And then we brought like a secondary hub where I book my own artists.
Nice.
So I bring DJs and rappers.
Like, any names you want to name out there, man?
We've had Novid come out. Shout out the homie Novid from fucking Boyle Heights, East Los. Who else have we had? We've had the homie Lovesick and the whole Black Room LA crew have done a whole takeover and booked a bunch of DJs,
producers and shit like that.
Yeah, man, just
some
like
beat battles type shit.
Nah, just like hype music. So as people are walking around shopping, you know, like just fucking like background shit to get the party going, like some day party shit, you know.
Sweet.
I've had the homie Lover Christian come perform. It's cool because for me it's an investment. I don't get paid to go out there. Like I'm not making money off of it, but like it's just another venue where I'm helping my boy, and if he makes a killing, he breaks me off because that's kind of like our arrangement.
And he also gets your name out there.
Right, I got my banner out there. People come by, they like the music, they get a business card. I'm selling stickers, so like these stickers I try to sell them for $1 or $2 a pop, just to try to make like you know a little gas or whatever, just a little something. And then it's cool. It's just an opportunity for us to be out there, be out in the community. I get to put it on social media that we do this, and then I get to like have another spot when DJs come to me like, yo, I'm trying to DJ more. Like, is there anywhere you can put me on? Well, dude, come to the Art Walk.
We need people like that, man. I'm glad you're doing that stuff, man, because you know you hear about people saying shit, and we're actually interviewing somebody that's doing it, man. You know, and it takes a lot.
Yeah,
it takes
a lot of work, man.
It takes a lot of work for you to actually do it. So I commend you for that, man.
I'm just blessed that I got people that support the vision, you know, because if it was just really me by myself, because right now I'm here talking about it, but there's a whole team.
Hell yeah.
There's investors, there's fucking silent partners who don't even know where their money's going to, but it's keeping the shit alive, you know. So it's like wouldn't be here without the huge support system. It's fucking my mom, Raul, like shout out my mom and brother, like day one family unit that was supportive. And
your mom's awesome, man.
Yeah, big mama,
dude. She always
I love that lady.
Like, you want to know how I learned to facilitate? She taught me how to facilitate. You know, like you see people's visions, you would dream. Okay, how do you help them out? What can you do? Like sometimes you just give them money. Sometimes they need guidance. Sometimes they need a spot to perform. You know, just to like really know that they can do it. You know, just that shot. And I don't really feel like people were giving me shots when I first started doing music, when I first had the band. Like, it was so hard to get shows. Yeah. It was so hard to find people. And then also hip-hop band, trying to, like, play shows with alternative bands or, like, punk bands. Guys, like, we didn't really fit in. So there was no real venue that was, like, actively looking out for people to try to go and, like, give them a shot or, like, just be like, oh, I see what you're doing. Like, shit, like, I mean, as fucked up as it sounds, I almost feel like, dude, like, try to make money off me, you know? Like, put me in a fucking venue, promote me. Like,
exploit me.
Yeah, let's do it, dog. Like, I know how the game works, you know? Like, I know, like, the bills got to get paid. Lights got, you know, bartenders, security, lights, fucking licenses. I get it.
Like what you did,
fucking just give me the shot. And, like, let's just see if we could do something. But a lot of people are kind of, like, numbers first.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. But I'm trying to since I have resources and I'm not like, I don't have a mortgage, I don't have a car payment, like I have a bunch of student loan debt, but like I know like
Shit, don't go there.
I got credit card shit, like I got shit that I'm paying off for, but I don't have any like huge, I don't have any huge like I don't have kids, I don't have a girlfriend, you know, so I have like
You're good to go.
Those are your kids.
I have time, I got energy, and I got resources, and I'm just trying to like, if my catchphrase is always like, if we could build a sustainable economy, like an ecosystem of artists who are supporting each other, promoting each other, getting paid to perform, but also like putting that money back into like, we're buying each other's merch and we're promoting each other's shows, like I really think we could build something where everybody gets their piece, you know. And
that sounds like communism.
I mean, bro.
No, that's socialism.
Nah, bro.
Are you planning on expanding?
That's what we're trying to do.
People need to get paid, dog. It's capitalism as fuck. Like, you know, it's a conscious capitalism.
But what you're
like,
saying about all that, that's all stuff we've all been trying to do forever, dude.
This is the vision of La Clika.
So one resource you have now is us.
Yeah.
Right.
We're down.
Okay, so
I'll fucking drink to that.
Hell yeah, dude.
don't squirt the Black Widow.
Yeah, dude. Salud.
All right,
Salud.
so
Sorry,
getting back to it, Ryan, I know you are educated, and I remember since day one, one of the reasons why the project ended with the Los Guys was because you had this opportunity to attend a university. And to us, it was like a bittersweet, like our boy fucking made it, but at the same time, it's like, what do we do now? But when you took off, I remember being at the studio and you still found a way to make your music work. You would come back from cats that were from San Diego and you were rapping out there with them, and you would bring them down to the studio and fucking record with them. You always kept it going, even though anywhere you were fucking at, you made it happen for yourself. You were out there rapping, you were doing your fucking thing. Tell me about that experience.
Honestly, though, that wasn't even the dream. That wasn't even the vision. Like, so what happened was the band wasn't going anywhere for whatever reason. Like dudes were having kids and like trying to like get married and settle down.
Yeah.
Social media was still like really new, and people didn't know how much they had to like dedicate to it and be on it. And like promoting an album is not the same that it used to be. Like, and we weren't playing enough shows, so there was just a lot of things, like a lot of factors that were not really leaving the band to be a viable way forward. Essentially, is what it was. And my mom was kind of pressuring me, like, "Yo, what are you gonna do?" Because after I put out the record with these dudes, I kind of realized, oh shit, if I have a goal, I could accomplish anything. So I had taken a semester off of community college to do this record. Like, it was like, I just needed a reset. I was like, I got to get the fuck out. I got to do it. And now once we did the record, kind of had this renewed, like,
urgency.
Not urgency. It was more like just a perspective. I was like, I could do any fucking thing I want. Like, I was like, I felt super, I felt like
you feel invincible.
Yeah, dude. I was like, I was a new person. I was literally like a new person. Like, I had fucking busted out of this like weak cocoon, and I was like this next level fucking android super soldier, you know?
Super Saiyan.
Nobody can stop
you, dude. Like, I broke through my limits, you know?
Yeah.
And so I started applying that to school just to keep my mom off my back, because her deal was always, you go to school, you don't got to worry about shit. Like, as long as you're doing school, like, you could have fun and fucking work on music, but like, school's always got to be first. And I had kind of gone back on that, and she was cool with it, but she was like, okay, like, what's up with this school thing? So I went back to school, simultaneously doing school, DJing, and trying to be in the band and try to find a way to make this thing work, like a viable, so like some kind of, at some point we live in a capitalist society, you know, like, you got to make money, like, and as much as it's a passion project, as much as you love it, as much as it's something that you're gonna do no matter what, you got, like, if you're gonna be serious about it, there has to be, start having conversations about, yo, is this gonna be able to pay the bills, or do I need to find something viable that will sustain me, and then I could do this on the side.
Yep, has to make sense financially. Period.
Right. And
we have a lot in common.
If it don't make sense, it don't make dollars.
We have a lot in common, man. That's how I always thought about that. Like, what do you think? Yeah,
so school became that viable safety net that said, hey, if I go do this thing, then I'll be able to do this music thing forever, because I know I got this thing in the bag. Like, mom's gonna be off my back. Society will say, hey, you're not a fuck up anymore. You know, we'll hire you for some bullshit job that you hate, whatever. Like, so I started going hard in school, and I was trying to go hard in the band. and then just the confluence of like the band not really meeting my needs or expectations, and me not really having any business sense, right? I never thought of myself as a businessman. I thought of myself as an artist. I thought of myself as a DJ. I thought of myself as a party guy. I thought like I never thought I never thought of myself as a promoter or an executive. Like I didn't really have that mindset, you know. I just thought like, you fucking do what you love, and fuck it. Like they always tell you, do what you love, and the money will come, and it's like, yeah, but like you gotta know what the fuck you're doing,
you gotta
and like you gotta
yeah.
also love the work and the behind the scenes behind the thing you love. Like there's the thing you love, there's like a whole other layer of bullshit that comes with it that you also have to learn to love, and I did not have that perspective, so I wasn't doing. Like in retrospect, hindsight's always 2020. There was probably a lot of things I could have done, or different ways that I could have communicated with the band, or other roads that we could have taken that might have made us more successful or more known, or put us in a better position, because we had gotten paid to play a couple times. Like we were able to pack rooms, and we had like a legit following, like 50, 100, 200 people that in the right moment, with the right promotion, with the right incentive, we could pack a house, you know. But it just wasn't happening in any consistent way that I could see, and I didn't really have the mind to like figure out how to build that up. And so I was like, you know what, dude, like this band thing is not working. It's not going to work for me. And at that same time, I was applying to colleges. I got accepted to UC San Diego, and there was like literally a fork in the road. It was like, you're going to decline your admission that you worked the last year and a half, 2 years to get this acceptance letter and say, fuck it, I'm gonna go with the band. Or you're gonna say, fuck the band, which is not really doing shit right now anyway, and like not, you know, you don't really even know where that's gonna be in 3-6 months, a year. And so like I weighed out my options. I made a really hard choice, you know. And because I love these, like I said, it's my favorite thing to do is to play with these guys, and like I love rocking out. And you know, who doesn't want to be a rock star? Who doesn't want to, you know, like what little kid,
it's a gamble.
What person does not want to be a rock star? You know, like it's definitely, it wasn't an easy decision, but I did it. And in my head, I was like, I'm going to be done. Like I'm done with music. I'm going to go be an academic. I'll be a teacher. I'll go, like, I was already preparing myself for like a new life. I was like, I'm going to be a new person. I found roommates who were like super nerds, who didn't party, didn't do drugs. Like I was like, I'm gonna move in with nerds who like do work. Like I'm gonna move in with people that are gonna be like conducive to school, and I'm gonna be like a good student, and I'm gonna be doing like, music's gonna be this cool thing I talked about that I used to do. Like I used to be cool too. I used to like, I'm gonna tell my students like I used to be in a band. Like what? Nah, mister. Nah. And I was like, yeah, dude, check me out.
You have a lot of those people in the world. You have a lot.
Check me out, man.
I met many people like that, and they all say that it's
but
true.
I went over there and like, it followed me, man.
It
like
did follow
I
you.
couldn't
You cannot get away with it, man.
It's in your blood, man.
Yeah, you have to.
What about the Chick Cafe? You ever?
I was actually part of the movement to save it, man, because they wanted to fucking knock it down. And I actually like, we did a walkthrough and I made a video that kind of like ended up publicizing it. And there was like, people locked themselves in, and I didn't go that deep. At some point I ended up becoming like an elected official in school government, so I couldn't be part of the protests anymore. So, but I was still like trying to like facilitate conversations and get funding and like try to like argue on their behalf and extend fucking. But yeah, man, basically got to a point at UCSD where I was just so like depressed and like struggling, and it's not an easy school. It's not easy to move away and not have like friends and family and people who think you're fucking cool everywhere. Like I was like just a normal person all of a sudden. I wasn't
blended in with the crowd.
I wasn't sneaky. I wasn't a rock star. I wasn't like the crazy DJ party dude. I was just a fucking
nobody,
normal guy. I remember throwing a cake party and we couldn't even finish the cake, and I remember feeling sad that like I was like, I have no friends out here.
You should have called us, man.
Like, you know, back in HP, this would have been gone right away, man.
Like half an hour.
Like we would have needed to go buy more beer.
Yeah, dude.
That should, yeah. Hey, what was your major?
I double majored in history and the study of religion.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so East Asian history, and I studied Buddhism.
So do you use that in your music now?
Definitely, yeah.
How do you use it?
Well, I try to drop a lot of Buddhist teachings in my verses, like because there's a lot of stuff that I super relate to about
Zen Buddhist or.
No, Mahayana Buddhism.
Okay.
So like greater vehicle, which is like a verse. My music, Mahayana, greater vehicle.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Enlightenment, retirement. Yeah, so like I try to like drop little things or like little like there's a lot of teachings about practicing like present moment awareness and like being present in the moment and not thinking about the future, or like kind of like my whole message of like social justice and compassion and like being nice to people and like realizing that we're all on this journey type shit. You're not perfect and like desires and all that. So like I try to like I weave it in, kind of like encoding it in the message, you know, like so when people are rapping my verses, they're actually like talking about fucking Buddhist teachings, you know.
Well, you said you came from like your upbringing and your influence were like most of positive people, so it's kind of like a full circle in your music, because you know, you from most stuff to what you're talking about now, it's almost related.
Yeah. Well, I mean, those are the people I try to emulate. You know, like that's the type of music. That's what made me want to rap, because like I always wanted to do music, but I was never really good at music, and I didn't really want to be. I didn't have the discipline to like train myself to be good at music. So like words and poetry and rhyming, that shit came easy to me.
There's always easy, because it's like it's part of you. So naturally, it's gonna come out,
right? You know? So like when I started listening to rappers and being like, "Oh, these fools are making me feel things," and like I feel like fucking cool, or I feel sad, or just like the whole being able to get into people's minds and make them think or feel a certain way. That's what I wanted to do,
and you're doing it.
That's what I try to do.
And now you're doing it.
Yeah.
Damn, that's amazing. Oh, yeah. Fucking badass, man.
So we're gonna take a little break, and we'll be back. And we're back.
Born sinner, but sorry. Should we do another freestyle?
And that was Shneaky with his latest hit, "Born Sinners."
Oh, he needs a
so we took a break, and then y'all are like, "Oh, you should." They're like, you could talk about whatever the fuck you want. So I actually I wanted to ask y'all some questions real quick, because that's what I do. So I was mentioning sustainability and like artists and economy and stuff, and you said that what you're trying to do. Can you elaborate on that? Because I'm interested in like knowing what that means to you.
Well, for us, is just trying to get people's names out there, give them a platform to start on, because if this ever does blow up, people are going to go back and listen to our episodes and like, oh, who's this fool? I want to see this guy come up too. You know, I want to listen to him. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to introduce people. Because back when we grew up, everything was flyers and what big gigs you went to. That's how you learn about people,
right?
About bands, about any kind of music, any kind of art. We didn't. What we have now, we didn't have back then. So we're trying to help that community out by bringing out, you know, to serve people that never heard you before,
right?
And it's not just a hip hop; it's also punkers, it's also rockers, it's also metalheads. You know,
that's great.
Yeah, so that's what we're trying to do. Because we used to promote back in the day. And one of the things that we had a hard time doing was promoting it, because you actually had to do legwork. You had to go pass out flyers, just uncomfortable spots. It was
before the internet, so
it
was all word of mouth. You know, going to other gigs and promoting your show.
It's like one of our most successful gigs was the first one, because we had a whole group of friends that were just crazy. Because
everybody comes out to the first one. Yeah, everybody comes out to the first one.
But we had one friend. I'll say his name, Bobby. He went to fucking high schools and put flyers fucking everywhere. In HP, every fucking tree in Stockton Court had a flyer fucking posted on it. Every locker had a fucking flyer posted on it. You go to Garfield, everybody had a poster out there. Dude, we had, for a gig back in 94, we had over 300 fucking people show up. The next one wasn't that successful. We only had maybe 100 people, but
100 people today,
that's still
though? That's a lot.
But we went from 300 to 100 to 20.
Yeah.
So like we didn't do the legwork, but now we have social media, but not everybody shares everything.
Yeah.
We have real close friends that don't share our shit, dude.
We have real close friends that haven't heard our shit.
We have people on our podcast that haven't fucking heard our shit.
Hey, they're called fucking haters, dog.
Yeah, really.
Honestly, that's like one of the things that I've been trying to come to grips with the most ever since like I moved back, and I'm trying to like I started a business and I'm trying to like live this music shit. It's like, where are all my friends at? Like, how come? At first I was like, why can't you go to shows? And then I understood that one. Like, okay, time, money, other things to do, whatever, right? Okay, you can't go to shows, but like you're on social media all day. Like, why can't you fucking hit that retweet button? Why can't you hit that like? Can't you drop a comment?
Yep.
Like when you see me post a link to my shit, like, why can't you share it? You know, like I know
I share your shit, dog.
Well, yeah, I mean we're in this shit together, right? But I feel like, you know, people are constantly sharing music with Spotify and links, and everybody's always talking to like, insert me into the conversation. You know, like don't
share the Beyonce song, share the Sneaky song,
right? And hey, dog, and I'm not. It sounds like narcissistic and shit, but it's like I was talking about like my projects that I put out. and how I didn't really give them any shine or any love because I was already trying to work on the next thing. And it's like, dude, some of these songs, like, I wrote them back in 2013, you know? Like, they meant so much that I put 5 years into making sure that they got finished and they're out there, and like I don't even love them anymore. And it's fucking sad, but like I'm out here trying to like reinvigorate myself to like push Highways and Pastimes part 1 and 2, and like my people are not even like helping me like it stings like and I try to get over it. I try not to like get too booty hurt about it, like that's the world we live in. But like I hear you saying it, and I'm just like, fuck, dude, I feel that. Like, that's real, and I feel like a lot of independent artists probably feel that same way. Like,
we have friends that I helped out growing up, just being their fucking roadies, doing their sound, recording some of these people, you know,
taking pictures,
and it's like I don't want money, I don't want any shit. Just share what we're fucking working on, dude, and let it happen that fucking way. That's all I ask for. And there's people who are like, nah, it can't even fucking take a second to fucking share your shit.
And it's not about the likes. I'm sorry about it. It's not about the likes. It's about share it so people could use us, so they could springboard their career in music, their career in hip hop.
Exploit me.
Exploit me so they could be exploited themselves.
Yeah, exploit the resource.
It's not about us.
And
it's really not about us.
Yeah, it's not about us. Guys. Yeah.
You know, we're here for you.
So Ryan, one thing I did want to ask you, what do you want your listeners to take from your music? What do you want to spread?
Honestly, I just feel like there is like some fucking percentage of the world, whether it's 60, 70, 80% of the world lives in poverty. You know, there's like there's enough negative shit in the world already with the wars and the genocides and the famines and the natural disasters and the global warming and the sea of trash and Trump. The fucking plastic patch. Don't get me started, dog.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm just trying to like be a little spark of positivity and a little light. And even though like my music sometimes is dark and like very real and has like there's like a kind of seriousness to it, at the end of the day it's really about like trying to give a positive message and have people know that they're not alone and that they could relate. And like honestly, I feel like I don't know what my demographic is because all my music's like all over the place, you know? So I got to really figure out how to narrow that down, because you can't really be like, in this day and age, you can't really like succeed if you're trying to please everybody.
You do you, man. You do you. You just have to do what you got to do.
But I'm trying, you know, like I want people to hear my music and be like, damn, like I get where this was coming from, or like that's some real shit, or like I should try to like, you know, be more appreciative of what I got, because, you know, we live in fucking one of the best places and one of the best times, and we have like the opportunity to do whatever the fuck we want if we dedicate ourselves, and it's like that's a beautiful thing, you know. And so I'm just trying to like spread that message of like, do your thing, positive side of life, fucking, you know, work hard, be compassionate, be kind, you know, recognize that the world's already moving fast. If you could slow down and enjoy yourself and fucking take it all in, you know.
So I mean, you're a busy guy, right? Obviously I seen what you do, man. You're a very busy guy, and I know you're promoting, you're doing your thing, but when do you have time to write music, man? Like, what is there a certain time of the day or like night and the day, or where do you say, you know what, I'm gonna just erase everybody for 30-40 minutes and you write your lyrics? When do you do it?
Honestly, it happens like in spurts. Like I won't write for days, weeks, months, and then one day I'll just wake up and like all I can think about is instrumentals. And like I have a lot of projects stacked up, so there's things that like I have in the queue that need to be worked on, and like some days I get that feeling and I kind of like cancel everything.
So it's like sporadic. It just happens. Like you be driving and you just pull over and you start writing stuff.
No, I write while I drive, actually.
Really?
Like, yeah, it's kind of like texting and driving. It's super dangerous, but you know, like it's fucking.
You just can't help it. You just got to write on the phone.
You know, like you said, I'm busy and I'm fucking like sometimes I'll be on my way somewhere where I'm like have to be there and like I'm listening to the beat and like I hear that thing that needs to be there, and I just fucking pull out my phone and start like it's real quick, you know, like if I'm sending a text, like super
Writing
dangerous
lyrics.
and illegal and like not cool and don't do it, but like I do. I'm sorry, don't drive next to me.
It's like when you're writing your song.
So
when you're writing-
don't spit fire and drive.
So when you're writing your music, like I know, like okay, so you're writing, right? You got your text, you know, you got your phone out, you're writing. At that moment, do you have like a like style of song you want to write? At that moment, like the style of like the BPM, or is it something that just happens after?
Nah, honestly, I always have the beats first. Yeah. So I recently started making beats, but before that, like I would fucking collect, like I'd hoard beats.
Yeah. What do you use?
Ableton.
Oh, nice.
Ableton, Pro Tools. My homie uses Logic. So there's like, you know.
I'm an MPC user. So.
Okay. Hey, dog. I have homies that use MPC too.
Nice.
Nothing wrong with that. I
Yeah.
mean,
What do you appreciate about that Ableton? What does that make it? Why is it that's your weapon of choice?
honestly, it's really intuitive. Like I feel like it was easy for me to pick up. Okay. Like there were a lot of other beat programs and a lot of other things that I saw, and when I watched someone do it, I couldn't get it. But when I saw my homies use Ableton, I was like, I know what's going on right there. Yeah. And it just precision that you could do the sampling with stretching stuff and like taking clips and like being able to go in and be like, oh, this is like this one little piece is off beat. Let me just move
what kind of music do you listen? What kind of music do you actually sample? What's the main like what you go for?
Damn, everywhere, dog.
Because since you're a trumpet, I mean, do you ever go to like the jazz?
Jazz, of course. That was I mean, I have a whole tape called Strictly Sinatra, which is all Sinatra samples, and it's all like his older Columbia, more jazzy stuff.
He did a lot of. Quincy Jones worked with him.
Exactly. Yeah.
So therefore, you probably gravitate towards that.
Yeah.
I got some records for you, man. If you want to listen to them.
Yeah, dude. I'm always down, dog. And fuck, let's sample some shit. You said you produce, right?
Yeah.
Let's do some work.
Fuck yeah, man. I got some shit.
Nah, but I mean, I sample anything, dude. Like I'm really into Coheed and Cambria, like Anthony was saying, and so like sometimes I just intentionally looked for songs, like even though they don't sound good, I'm like, I got a Coheed and Cambria sample. Like what's up, you know, like or a lot of Motown, like even classical. I've been finding like not a lot of people sample classical. It's like really like creepy and dark and big, like opera and shit. But there's a lot of strings and a lot of things that you can like flip.
You either do Modern Queen in the rap, you know, because this whole thing they wanted to do a lot of opera.
Yeah, dude. Well, that's kind of like where Bohemian Rhapsody was, right? Yeah,
exactly.
But so I honestly I like to sample shit that I listen to. So even that's another thing that I'll do is like I'll be having my iTunes just run on random through my whole library because I'm a DJ. I got over like hundreds of gigs of music, and some of it like I just stole from people. I don't even know what's in there. Like they just gave me their hard drive and I ripped it. So I have songs in my library that I don't even know I have. So I'll just be having it run on random. And something will pop up, and I'll just move that to my sample playlist, and then I'll go to that playlist later when I'm in the mood to make a beat, and I'll start looking through like that playlist of shit that I heard whenever I heard it. Like I was like, there's something there. This little piece, I'm gonna put that for later. So
are you ever like you said you play trumpet? Are you ever gonna implement that in your music again?
I'm trying, man, but I'm not good. That's the problem. But like the cool thing about now that I've started producing and learning to sample is that like doesn't have to be perfect because I'm gonna end up fucking with it in the post production anyway. So I'm starting to figure out. Yeah, I mean, it's there. I gotta figure out how like to actually make it work and make it sound good and do it right so that it's not like cheesy, you know.
Do you ever write music? Like actually like write music out? No.
Nah, I'm not. I mean, I took some music classes, but I'm not trained like that. Like I said, I never really had the dedication to be a musician, which is ironic that now I dedicate my whole life to this shit. I should have put some time in back then, but
you never know, dude. I mean, try it out. Shit.
So one thing that I did speak to you about before, when I was hanging out with you a couple times in the studio, was it would be so easy to get famous now. Just following, what everyone is doing, this mumble rap, just doing, all this shit that's going on right now. And you told me, fuck that. What do you think about the new rap that's going on, and why don't you change your ways when it's just easier to get famous that way?
That's a good question, new podcaster Anthony.
He seems like a seasoned pro.
He seems like a very seasoned pro. And once again, I want to welcome Anthony.
He learned from Shneaky.
Thank you for joining the Clika Podcast. This is Anthony, the new member, and we're interviewing Shneaky right here. So, back to the question.
So, all right, I gotta say this just straight out. Like, I don't hate on the new music. I'm a DJ. I get paid to play a lot of that new music, so I can't sit here and hate on it and then have it pay my bills. Like, that's not really a place that I want to be at. I have a lot of friends who make that music, and I respect their hustle, you know?
Yeah.
And we were having this conversation on my podcast yesterday, which happens every Monday night from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on the After Party Network.
Hey, no shout out.
Little plug there.
But it's like, yo, if it's like creativity, right? If that's what you want to make, if that's what moves you, if that's the shit that gets your juices flowing. Like, for me, I love fucking guitar solos. That's why I brought this for, like, like, guitar solos make my it makes my fucking makes my shit hard, you know? Like, it gets me it gets me going in the morning. Like, I put on fucking I'll put our song, I'll put the anthem on, and I'll just fucking listen to that shit. And when this fool starts ripping it, like, that shit gets it makes my fucking get goosebumps and my hair stands up, you know? And so if that happens for those people that are making that music, well, then power to them, you know? Like, fucking make that shit.
And, you know, sometimes it's not even...
But that's not what gets me going, you know what I mean?
What does get you going?
Yeah, what gets you going, man?
That's my question. Why haven't you sold out to that aspect of hip-hop that's going on now with the mumble rap and all that shit?
Because at the end of the day, I wear so many hats, and I do so much shit that I don't want to do already to chase the paper.
Yeah.
That I'm not, like, music's my sanctuary. That's the one thing no one wants to pay me for right now. So I could do whatever the fuck I want with it. You know what I mean? It's not like when I DJ, I have to DJ whatever. I'll DJ weddings, I'll DJ quinceaneras, I'll drop 80s, I'll drop corridos, I'll drop norteños, I like 90s, 2000s hip hop and R&B and progressive house and trance. That's what I'm into. But if you want a fucking 80s dance party, or you want to hear some fucking cumbias and shit, like, I'll play that shit for you, because you're fucking paying my shit, you know?
I get it.
But at that point, like, when you're like, well, yeah, there might be a possible future in making that type of music, but it's not guaranteed. Yeah. And right now, I have the freedom to do whatever I want, and I throw my own shows and I record my own music, and I don't have to have anybody to pay for my records or to promote me. Then, like, I'm gonna do what fucking gets me going, and, like, what fucking makes me feel good. And that's what I expect from everybody else too. So when people want to make whatever music they want to make, like you said, fucking punk rockers, metalheads, fucking dubstep, drum and bass, jazz, like, if whatever gets your fucking shit going, do that. I'm not gonna hate on you. But at the same time, I feel like we as artists, as influencers, as people that always push the boundaries and who society looks to for the new shit, like, to break the monotony, we have, like, a responsibility, kind of. We have some kind of, like, we owe it to the culture, to the people that came before us, to honor a certain level of, like, integrity and positivity. And, like, that's why I think there's a legit conversation happening where, like, maybe this new music is not hip hop. Maybe it's something else.Maybe it's a new style.Maybe it's a new genre. It's its own thing. Maybe it's pop. Maybe it's, but, you know, like,
it's a debate that most people talk about, because it's, how can I say, it's hip hop.
It's a derivative of hip hop,
but it's an evolution of hip hop.
I don't think it's an evolution, dog. It's evolving.
It's like it touched, it landed, and it's gonna be here for a while, and it's eventually gonna skip to another generation. Because right now we're in 2018. This shit has been happening for the past 5 years, maybe. Yeah. Okay, so you got to think about.
Longer. It got popular in the last 5 years, but you got to realize that this has been something that's been going on. Like,
so I think it started with
the urban hoods, like, you know, drill music in Chicago, or the shit that's been going on in the South, like, regionally.
I think it got popping with the fucking Migos, like, this type of fucking.
And where
shit.
they from? Atlanta, right? Like, so there was a whole culture.
Yeah, because I still consider it, like, I know I'm gonna be hated on this shit, but I think it's still it's whatever's on the radio. It's what's gonna be evolved into what's the next generation in here. So, like, say I grew up on the 90s shit. I couldn't help it. That's what came to my ears. I was exposed to that. So the kids nowadays that's what they're exposed to.
Right.
So therefore, the next generation, the next 5 years, who knows what's gonna happen?
Right.
We don't know.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
So whatever comes after, that's still gonna be hip hop.
But I also feel
It's still gonna be see, once we put the term hip hop, no matter what, you're still hip hop. Even if you say it's not hip hop, it's still part of the whole culture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we can't say, oh no, that's not hip hop shit. That's not hip hop. Like, dude, that's what's out.
But let me ask you something. What do you consider the culture of this new hip hop? I mean, what is
It's
it?
culture is culture, man.
No,
Culture-
but
culture is
what is
culture.
it? What does this culture bring to the table of hip hop? And is it hip hop or is it rap? And what's the difference?
Okay,
Can I jump in real quick?
The style of rap. Okay, that's the difference. There's a style. Hip hop is a culture. You know, people are still,
B-boy, graffiti.
Yeah, people are still
fucking
rocking.
fresh,
You still see graffiti on the streets. You
But,
still
okay.
see people. So there's still hip hop is the style of rap that's being, but it's still in the hip hop genre. So it's still hip hop, even though, like we said, we don't know what's gonna happen in the next 5-10 years, but hip hop is still gonna be around.
And I think
Because
like
it's just the style. Like I said, there's different elements in hip hop.
right, it's like the overarching tree that
Exactly.
everybody's under the umbrella.
Exactly, man.
And I think just like personally, I feel like people make music by what they're influenced by and like their environment, and they take in like the things that they see around them, right?
Exactly. So
So like I had this conversation with Young Baka on the B side when we were like, he's like, oh,
shout
like
out to those guys.
yeah, right, fucking doing it. I think they just celebrated 8 years
Yeah,
or
I was
10
on that.
years. Yeah,
I was
okay,
on there before.
that's probably where you saw me at. Then I was on their live stream.
Yeah, I was there.
I brought it up with him because, we were talking about accountability and responsibility and like artists that are saying shit and pushing culture, like drug culture, like Xanax, like lean, like all that, like, and like people are dying, the fentanyls, like, is there a responsibility? Do these artists as individuals have a responsibility for that stuff? And I kind of came back with, like, there's a society, a cultural aspect that has, impoverished, like has caused poverty in places, has devalued education, has left a lot of, populations underserved.
Yeah.
And in these environments is where this like uproar is coming from, right? Where you're having music that's reflecting the violence and the drugs and the chasing money, and you have a lot of like quote unquote uneducated or not proper grammar or whatever, like
Shit, we had crack in the 80s.
Right.
We were still hip hop.
Right, but what was the message? Was like crack is whack, right? It came out like this is bad for the community.
You see, but now the crack babies are the rappers.
Yeah.
But also,
but then you had a lot of era who were selling crack, right? And who had the trap houses, and hip hop was built on trap. So like
all the same
that's
shit.
exactly what I was gonna say.
As a generation of young people
back
that
in the
grew up
90s.
listening to drug dealers
Yeah.
glorified.
Always gonna be drugs.
Yeah.
Drugs is
But-
always gonna be rock and hip hop. There's always gonna be drugs is what it drives us.
But
believe it or not, that's what drives us.
But there's like a cultural perspective, right?
Yeah.
Like we, like conscious music and then mainstream, and that whole distinction kind of doesn't exist anymore.
It's still,
And people are like, you gravitate and like labels, and we could go big as you want to get into conspiracy theories about like white executives pumping whatever, like. But I think at the end of the day, yes, individuals are responsible. There's artists out there putting out trash music but at the same time, there's environments that were, created that cause that music and that make it prolific, and why people relate to it and why people like it and why people are looking for an escape, and they dig the fact that it's not too deep. Because life is deep, so sometimes you need to get a little shallow, like just to survive, like get a little air,
getaway.
A little escapism. I feel like a lot of music right now is escapism, like where we.
I think it's even more than that. I mean, it's more like detaching, just your whole self from that.
Yeah.
I have mixed feelings about new rap. I mean, like I always say, with the new rap, it's their music. It's the young kids' music. Just how the hip hop guys from the 80s disrespected the 90s hip hop. You know, like, oh, that's not real rap. You know, like fucking Tupac is doing this or whatever the fuck. So, I mean, they're just passing the torch. But as far as like society, you know, dictating, you know, the music, that's exactly what it is. You know, we come from a, you know, autocorrect, you know, like you don't have to type in the words, you know, you see, instead of saying talk to you later, CTY, that's how rap is to me now. It's more like automated and more like mechanical. It's not that it's not soulless, because I mean, if you're an artist, I mean, even if a trap artist, like some fucking idiot just with dreadlocks and tattoo faces and shit, he's still putting some kind of soul into it.
Yeah. He's
I mean, that's his expression. I mean, he's not well trained, you know, and nobody, you know, got a chance to teach him well, and then for some reason someone else liked it, and that's how this all got started.
Yeah, but on that aspect, I'm just saying, I think personally that they're doing it for the wrong reasons now. It's because they're chasing the paper instead of chasing the art itself. Yeah. And in the 90s, if you listen to, you know, hip hop, it was about selling those drugs, and now it's about doing those drugs. You know, and most people.
That's a meme for sure. I've read that online.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, I gotta admit that I started smoking weed because of Cypress Hill.
Okay, well there you go.
Southgate.
So when you come back to that, it's like, you know, back then in hip hop, they wouldn't rap and flaunt about what they didn't have yet. You know, these rappers come out here and they're talking about millions of dollars. They're talking about Bugattis. They're talking about mansions. They're talking about 6-car garages.
But you can blame Puff Daddy for that. And that was music in the 90s.
But Puff Daddy had all that.
Yeah, you know what, though? I feel like, I mean, and like, there's just a change in the culture, right? Because when a lot of those dudes were making music back in the day, it wasn't viable. You know, they were like scrapping, putting it together, hustling, trying to make it work, right? And now it's almost like the second kid in a relationship that's already like the parents already had the first kid. They figured out the second kid kind of gets away with more shit. Like they already have like a path, you know, like even like kids in privilege, right? Like my parents crossed the border, had a fucking struggle here. They built this dope ass life, and then my dumb ass got to grow up with like money and fucking access to education and drugs. And I'm kind of a fuck up. And I'm welcome to the drug cast.
The drug cast.
But I kind of got a chance to do more fuck up shit and got to like kind of experiment more and find my own way, because there weren't like that external pressures, and there was already like a path for me. Like school was a path, education and getting a job. Like it was like that was the norm in my family. That was the path, and so I knew that eventually I was gonna do that. But I get to like have this fun, right? And I feel like rappers are the same way. Where like before there was no economy for it, and then it got built, and now people are growing up. They see it like as a means to an end right from the beginning. We're like, oh, we could do this thing to make money, chase the paper, and like we can experiment, and we know there's a path there already. There's a path where like there is an industry who will buy into this culture and pay for it, and like
there's a following.
So if we can like
absolutely right.
If we can be wild and fit like what we could be the most extreme and see what hits, because we know that there's a path for that. So
the
then,
market.
And then you know, fucking the Migos were fire, and people love that shit in Atlanta and the South. Like
they're exposed to it.
Yeah, like they had a whole culture down there where people there loved it, and they got to expose that to the world, and the world was like ready for that shit. You know what I mean? And like everybody had this idea that like, oh well, we can make money off of this shit. That path exists.
They're writing off their coattails though.
But
they're writing off their coattails. Give me 1 second.
Everybody
did it from the generation before though.
That's what I'm saying. Like back when, like even in the early 80s with the hip hop,
it was like it was new, right? It was
but it's more than that, because there was always this desperation. There's always this desperation where they had to make it because there was no other safety net,
right?
You know, and they had to rely on, I have to make this thing work because I'm paying for studio time,
right? But now people are like, oh, I know that route exists, so I won't do anything else in my life except for that. It's like, okay, this is gonna be a weird parallel, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna apologize ahead of time, but it just came to my mind right now. It's like we were talking about face tattoos, right?
Yeah.
And I remember when Eric, Inspired One, tattooed his hands, And he basically said, like, I'm never gonna have a normal job ever again. Like I have to make it now as a tattoo artist because
commitment.
having tattooed hands is not gonna be acceptable.
Yeah.
And he put himself in that position, right? And I almost feel like some of these fools, they tattoo their face because they're like, yo, like I'm gonna be I met a dude recently.
You're committed.
The last couple months who had a fucking face tattoos, young cat, not famous, not known, but already like crazy colored hair, face tattoos.
Takashi.
I don't know how old the kid was. Like for sure he was younger than me. I'm only 29, so for sure he was younger than me, and already like dedicated, like no other route. Because
pigeonhole yourself into something.
What are you gonna do now that your face is tattooed and you look like this? Like that's
wow.
And what happens if he fails?
Yeah.
They don't not giving themselves a chance to fail. That's why a lot of these fools make it because they don't have nothing else. That's all they want. Like it's not that they don't have anything else. Is that they already know that there's a pathway for that, and they can dedicate themselves to that.
That pushes them.
There's a
There's a
blueprint now. Though.
There's a blueprint.
It's like getting your degree. It's like now you got to look for a job.
Yeah,
you got student loans. You got to pay your shit.
You have to get a dope job.
You got to get a good job,
look,
good paying
Shneaky,
job, because you got to get that house because you dedicated yourself.
Like
I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I see what you're talking about.
We
now
got a podcast.
It's like now that you have your tattoos, like oh crap.
I have no choice. I gotta do it. And you know people have done it already.
Yep.
It's not new.
Yeah.
We're like, we don't know if this is gonna work, or only 5 or 10 people do it. No, it's like you could be a SoundCloud rapper and no one really knows who you are, and still like sell out shows and sell merch and have your shit streaming, and like
and actually that pushes you though. If you think about it, like,
and that's why I'm not gonna hate.
Big motivator.
I'm not gonna hate on these fools, but I don't have to like it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I don't have to like. For me, like my record, if you go listen to Highways and Pastimes on SoundCloud, like from beginning to end,
Check it out.
It's a full project like we were talking about. I separated it because people had short attention spans, so I put out part 1 and put out part 2. But when you listen to the whole thing together, it's like there's a story. You know, we're moving through, like you're learning about me, you're learning about where I come from, you're learning about my values. Like I'm trying to tell you my story and hope that you could fucking do better. Like there's a real like conversation, like a real honesty that I'm trying to bring, and like a real openness.
And it feels like we have a connection with you.
Right.
Yep. Well, no,
And
you're vulnerable at that
one thing
moment.
about that,
And it's real. It's not a turn up. It's not like you're going to have to like hear me talking about losing my dad or
you're keeping it
or
real.
Keeping it fucking real as fuck.
You know, getting pulled over, driving drunk, or like all the times I fucked up, or like
Salute.
You know what I mean? Cheers. But
but
like, it's like I'm a real normal dude going through normal shit, and I just happen to be fucking recording it, and I want y'all to like maybe make better decisions than I did.
Yeah.
And I had
learn from me.
And I had all the opportunities. I had the privilege. I had the education. I had the resources, and I still somehow ended up in jail. Right? I still somehow got caught up. Why is that? Because like. Where we come from, it's there's a disadvantage just coming where we come from because we breathe in toxins from Vernon, because fucking our schools are overcrowded.
You're expected to fuck up.
No, teachers just passed you to get rid of you, and they had 40 people in a class, and there was no way they could teach everybody, and like
they wouldn't even try to teach, man.
We came, so like,
dude, trust me.
And I got to be one step above that, and I somehow still fell into these traps that have been set for us, where like we were taught to hustle, we were taught to live in this poor mindset where like quick instant gratification, right? Sell drugs, make the money, fucking ball out, become fucking hood rich, and like live that trap life. Like that's kind of like. And even if you weren't in that life, somehow it was glorified. It was sold to you. You heard it. You saw it in the movies, the blood in, the blood out. You saw it in all the shit that we grew up that was like. And so at some point, I want better for our people. And it's not going to happen if we're trying to escape from
reality
or glorifying the oppression. We got to fucking call it out. And it's not comfortable. My music's not gonna make you feel comfortable. You're not gonna like be like, hey, let's fucking happy and turn. You're gonna be like, oh shit, this is some real shit, And it's like,
because that, folks, is the first. Listen. That's the first mic drop on the fucking podcast, dude.
Yeah. There it is.
God damn.
Because you know what? I said what I said about the trap.
Damn.
It also to me it also is a celebration of ignorance. You know, there is no message.
Holy shit, dude. Hold on, dude. I gotta say one thing, dude. I mean, yeah, what he just said, like what Chris said, that was the first mic. I mean, I'm sorry, what Rick just said. I'm like, the whole time you're talking, man, I gotta say that I was saying to myself, I hope a kid listens to what you just said. And I mean this because I remember being a kid, right? And I hear these rappers. I used to hear these rappers talk about their story. And I used to be like, wow. And it hit me. And that's the reason I started listening to these guys. Because even though I was young, I knew one day I was going to be that.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is crazy shit. I'm going to be that, what he's talking about. And it happened.
Yeah.
So I'm like, holy shit. This is what I said before is rap raised me. Hip hop raised me. So therefore, I'm hoping a 13, 15-year-old out there listening to this cat's music right now. Because
Sneaky.
you are going to touch one. You're going to touch somebody one day, homie.
Hopefully not in the wrong way.
Nah, never.
Not a
But
13-year-old.
like that kind of music, that kind of music like gets people, man.
No, honestly,
yeah.
like that's kind of what I mean. That's what I hope to do. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah, you will, man.
my
You will. Trust
crowd,
me, you will.
like my crowd is that conscious, questioning person who's like searching for like a better way or like a window into like some kind of insight.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, some kind of like deeper than the surface type shit.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm into. I'm into the symbolism. I'm into
exactly.
the metaphors. I'm into like
Yeah.
and. You don't get that a lot in music today, and like I said, like I don't hate it, but that's just not what I do. And so when Anthony tells me why don't you sell out, is because I want that 13-year-old kid to hear something real. I want my people to, even if like they come back like 10, 20 years from now and look through and be like, yo, what was popping? Like maybe in the future they have some shit catalog, like every SoundCloud rapper.
Yeah.
Like what was happening between fucking 2010 and 2020? Like what were those 10 years like? Who were the fucking they find my shit and they're like, oh, this is like a window into what was really going on. Like not the fucking shit that was on the radio.
Exactly.
That was that's not
Exactly.
talking
That's not the
about
truth.
where we're at
Exactly.
in our society or what we're doing as a people or like our true potential.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I hope.
Because that's the people I used to listen to. Like the people that didn't get to the radio is the people I listened to, and those are the cats that got me.
Like underground, quote
Exactly.
unquote. But
I
that
was-
doesn't exist anymore,
No,
right?
underground is
everything
pretty
is
much
mainstream now. Yeah.
Everything, we're pretty much underground is anything that's not on the radio nowadays.
Right,
'Cause,
but now
it's a whole different
anybody
realm.
could be on the radio.
Yeah.
Like you could be SoundCloud could be big.
Yeah.
You know, you could be you
Yeah,
never hit
and
the
you're
radio
still
and still
underground.
fucking known,
Because
right?
underground was mixtapes and all that stuff. So like now, like the shit that I heard back then was seriously underground, and that's what got me, man. So I'm thinking that what you're doing is what's gonna get people.
Hey man, I hope so, man. And that's why I keep doing it. And that's why like that's the only thing that's the only reason why I keep putting out music.
Well, that's why I appreciate your music, Sneaky, because you're like that salmon that's swimming fucking upstream, going against the fucking grain,
Yeah.
while everybody's taking the easy route and just fucking flowing right down it. You know, you're taking the harder way, but you're spreading your word the way you fucking want to do it.
And that brings with longevity, because you easily just tattoo, you know, like a peace symbol on your eye and call yourself Little Sneaky.
Yeah.
And fucking
Little Sneaky.
But you're doing it the way you want to do it, and you're
Yeah.
spreading the
Yeah.
word you fucking want to spread.
And not only that, like with my entertainment industry, like my entertainment business, I'm also trying to find other MCs that are also on that same wave, who are
Conscious.
feeling like our music is not being appreciated right now, or there's not a market for it, and telling them like, no, you know, we're gonna create the fucking market for it. Like we're gonna make our own shows and do our own promotions and like have like create our own wave, because at some point like that's what
Yeah.
it takes, you know.
Dude.
I'm going to issue you a challenge, and I apologize if it's been done already. You mentioned something that really struck, not a nerve, but it made me really think. Your parents came here to give you a better life,
Yeah.
right? That's the one thing I've never heard in any kind of hip hop, and even I heard in some punk rock. But I want to hear something to the effect of your parents struggling to come here to make a better life for you, as a homage to your parents for what they did for you and your brother, bringing you, you know, just coming here to provide for you, you know, a better future. You hear it in corridos all the time.
Yeah.
Not the narco ones, but the other ones.
Right. The corridos verdes.
Yeah. But you hear that all the time about the struggle coming here to fucking work just to fucking send back money to provide for your family. I kind of want to hear that in a hip hop, even in a fucking punk rock fucking culture, dude.
Yeah.
This fool's fucking parents are.
That's a whole other podcast, my boy.
This fool's parents are some of the fucking hardest working people. His dad, rest in peace, was the mayor of Huntington Park.
He was the greatest mayor of Huntington Park.
The first Latino mayor.
And his mom was also the mayor of Huntington Park. Both of his parents were the fucking mayor of Huntington Park. That says something right there, man. That's greatness coming from Mexico and fucking taking this bitch over, dog.
Yes.
You know, and bringing up fucking children
right
that are spreading the fucking word about becoming great.
Yes.
And he himself, you know, got educated, did his thing, and he's spreading his fucking message through rap right now.
Damn.
And that's something fucking awesome, you know?
Yes.
And I appreciate this guy for that.
Catalyst. He's a catalyst.
And honestly, that I mean, like I owe everything to them. You know, like I don't think I'd be doing any of the shit that I'm into, or even like you know, they're the ones that made sure I went to college. And I honestly, UC San Diego, without that experience, I don't think I'd be here doing the business. Like the confidence and everything that I got from that experience and everything I learned, and honestly, like I'm just good at networking, but like I always was able to get people to like me or be able to like meet people and connect with them.
You're charismatic,
yeah,
man.
but that there was never like a systematic follow through. What happens after the people like you and they're listening to you? What's the ask? Like, okay, what's the next point of contact? Where's the return on investment? These are all the things that I learned going through like a reward, like a system like UC San Diego that teaches you to think like that. And so all of that I owe it to my parents, and nothing, I wouldn't be able to do any of this, right? So at some point I feel like me coming back to LA and starting a business and trying to create something that I think is novel, like this sustainable network, and allow artists to like thrive off of art and like find ways to like make that a thing, right? It doesn't exist. Like even like I'm trying to like start an entrepreneur day at HP High School, because I go there to represent UC San Diego in like college fair, and everything there is universities, community colleges, trade schools, and military and police officers. It's like, okay, where are the independent business owners? Where are the entrepreneurs, the dreamers, the people who actually like created something from scratch and now they live off of that? Like, where is that road for young people to see? How come they're not? How come we're not showing them? Because they exist.
They do exist. And
Crucitas, you know, NHP, fucking Root of Life Juicery. Like I could name
motherfucking Diana's,
right? Like there's fucking
Diana's is old school, dog. Yeah.
Fucking the chimichangas, dude.
I just think it's fucking tortillas, dude.
Don Chente. You know what I mean? There's so many people that are doing it who can inspire the next generation, but no one's bringing them.
Yeah.
And so
we
like,
gotta look at the only entrepreneurs people in HP are exposed to, especially for us with the drug dealers.
Right? That's going back to what I was saying.
And they're not gonna have a booth at the fucking career day.
Yeah, sign up at F13.
And that's not sustainable in the long term. And so like for me, it's like my parents changed the city, and I feel like they kind of like left me with that task of like, okay, now it's your turn. Yeah,
you're behind the fucking legacy, man.
I'm trying to see, like I've always felt like I'm in the shadows. Like I'm working so hard right now because I want to have my own legacy, so that people don't remember me as the son of mayors, but like mayor in my own right, you know, get my own park, have my own street,
hey,
you know.
Just don't claim to be the king of New York.
Nah, I'm the king of HP, baby.
There you go.
Nah, but seriously though, like, you know, I'm a lot of what I'm trying to do, the positive shit that I'm trying to do, like the community work, the donating my time, trying to like really be a face that people recognize, is because like that's what I was taught. And that's how I was raised, is like, we're about our people. We're out in the streets. People know who we are. Yeah.
Throwing the fucking relay for life.
Dude, I walked through Salt Lake Park the other day. I was out there for a couple hours walking around, playing Pokemon Go, trying to clear my head, taking a little break. Like 3, 4, 5 people, dog. Shneaky, hey, you're the DJ. There's like driving by, you know, and like
one of them following my mom. She collects cans out there in the park still, dude.
Dude.
Hold on, Shneaky.
Hey man, for me it's like it puts a smile on my face, you know. I feel dope. It's like I'm recognized in my city for my own thing now, because before it was always like, oh, you're Rosa and Raul's son, like oh, you're Rosa's son, or you're so and so's son. Now it's like, oh no, you're the fucking DJ. It's like turning this fucking city
Made
around.
your own
like,
name, man.
You're no longer a shadow. You're actually your own
and so
person
I'm
now.
hoping like, you know, they instilled that fucking like that greatness. That's what they worked hard, right?
Yeah,
For greatness,
exactly.
like to be great.
Exactly.
And like it's like a gift and a curse, because now I can't be a fucking guy that collects cans on the like I can't be that guy.
That's a motivator.
I
But you
can't
got
be-
that in you. You got
That's a
that in you.
motivator, though.
And which your skills and your passion cannot be taught. It cannot be forced upon. This is what you were born into.
I feel it, man.
And this is what your parents, your dad, you had this in them.
And I can't get away from it, dude. Like honestly, I'm working all the time, everywhere. Every time I'm out, it's like, what's the angle? How? What do you do? How can we work together?
Yeah.
Oh, you have a podcast. I have a podcast. We'll do a swap cast. Like, oh, let's do a live podcast. Let's do a show. Like, oh, you're a cook. You have your own business. All right, do a pop up at my event. Like, oh, who are you? What do you do? Oh, you make stickers. You make shirts. All right, you're gonna be my merch guy. I'm gonna sell your services to my whole network of artists, and we're gonna get you paid, and I'm gonna take a percentage. You know, like, and that's just, and that every time I'm out, I can't even turn it off. Like, that's just how I live everywhere. Every time that I'm doing anything, you ever see me anywhere?
And that's
what
honestly my dream, is to have shit like that where we're not mainstream, but we're taking care of our fucking selves in a community, dude. That's my fucking goal and my dream, but
we're doing it.
One thing at a time, you know.
I wanted, like, my dream, and we kind of like half did it this year, is I want to be able to throw my own festival where it's like all the bands are local bands, like people we know.
Yeah.
And they're getting paid what they deserve.
Yep.
And all the vendors
all
and
locals.
everybody who's serving beer, the beer garden, everybody who's there is people we know. And there's like no corporate shit. It's gonna be breweries and sandwich shops and like, and we did it like the Sella Arts Fest, the first of its kind, down in the fucking LA River Channel.
Oh, yeah.
We did it like, it was government funded though, and there was a lot of restrictions, and there was no beer, and there was like 2 stages, and
no fucking eloteros.
No,
man.
and the time was like short. We didn't have all the, you know, it was a lot of restriction, but it was, the vision was there. I saw it. I was like, this is what I want to do, and I was involved because
you were
I wanted
doing
to
the
learn.
litmus test just to make sure the water was clean.
I wanted to learn how to do it right, because I learned a lot of shit from that process: staging, lighting, electricity, fucking how to deal with the city's permits, like flow of people, capacity, like safety shit. Right? There's like
just
a lot of shit.
General funding.
Right. So that's my goal, is eventually to be able to throw this like sustainable, clean festival where everybody involved gets to walk away with something, and it was like, it's all community shit coming together. And I saw that it's possible, like you said, funding, but we weren't charging, right? So if this is something we charge at,
something has to get paid though.
Right, the money has to be there no matter what.
But you know what, paying for shit like that is not always a bad thing. You know, because you're contributing, you're investing in your own community, you're investing in yourself.
But we were just talking about how we can't even get people to hit the share button.
Yep.
So like, and that's kind of
the hard part.
That's where we're at, right? And that's why we gotta build it. It's got to be something that's built up to where like take the Speakeasy that I'm doing in Maywood, right? The Redwood Room, dive bar that people that live in Maywood never thought they would step foot in. Yeah. They fucking. It was like, that's the piece of shit bar that no one goes to. That's where all the paisas, that's where all the old white people are. That's like the shitty bar. Now, every second Friday, it's a hot spot. People from Maywood are like, dude, I never thought I'd come here, and this fucking place is dope. And like,
we did that with American Legion on fucking Santa Fe, dude. Yep. Nobody fucking ever went there. Threw a show there, fucking next thing you know, that's a fucking place to go every fucking Friday night, dude.
And that's the thing, like now, everybody's trying to throw shows at the Redwood Room. Yeah. They have a full calendar now. Yeah. It went from literally a place that was on the verge of being shut down to being a new fucking sought out venue that people want to program at.
And then the owners probably saw that and like, all right, let's make this fucking shit work, dude.
Oh, yeah, they started fucking buying new lights and buying new banners and started investing. And they bought more beers. They have better beers now.
A lot of these owners don't realize what the potential they have in their business until you show it to them. until you show them, hey, you could fucking make this economically viable for yourself. All you need to do is fucking put a LED strip of lights and you fucking have a stage.
Right.
You know, you don't have to fucking make this elaborate sound system here.
No,
This is simple. And once they get that shit, then they see the fucking money rolling. Now they want to do fucking stuff.
And that's the thing. Like, I bring the sounds. You don't even have to have sounds.
Yep.
You don't have to know artists. I'll bring the artists.
I'm doing
I'll
all
do the
the work.
graphic design.
Yep.
I do the promotion. I have the street team. I fucking pay for the ads. I'm just asking for some guaranteed flow and a cut of the bar for whatever I bring.
Yep.
You know, and like we work it out.
And bars love it when you say, hey, my customers like this stuff. This is the type of beers
Buy
they like.
it.
Yeah. They're willing to pay fucking $7 for a fucking Coors Light.
Modelo.
They love that shit. They love that fucking info.
Yeah, dude,
so any business person knows that.
$5 IPAs all night. You can get an 8% beer for $5 all night and blaze a blunt in the patio.
Yeah.
Who would not want to go to that show?
Yeah, no shit.
But see now,
I don't smoke weed, so not me.
Now
when is that?
But the real the real challenge is now is to make the whole city feel like that. Yeah. To make people want to party in their city, not just this bar, not just with these people. Like, to make people care about the bands in their city, the people that are their neighbors that are loud and annoying. Like, you have to fucking want that to like thrive.
See, like my dream, and it's long gone. I wish I had the money for it, but the freaking Warner Theater in Huntington Park would have been a dope ass fucking place to watch bands, man. I wish that would have happened, dude.
It would have been the new Allen,
dude.
The
fucking California Theater.
Now it's a fucking gym.
Yeah.
Dude, they tore out all the seats and threw them into the middle of Pacific Boulevard, dog.
That's a shame,
Historic,
man.
fucking,
Dude, I'll tell
literally,
you.
people lost their virginity in those chairs out on the street.
Fucking rats lost their virginity in those chairs.
I fingered my first girl there, dude.
Rats were born there.
That's just true. Rick fingered his first rat there too.
Hey, how good was it?
Hold
was
on.
It wet?
I was actually at that theater the last movie that showed.
What was it?
That was fucking the Blair Witch Project 2, dude.
Wow.
I was there when the sign cut.
So that's kind of recent. It's not even as historic.
Yeah, 2002, man.
Yeah, man.
But that theater's been there since 1910 or something.
No, dude. And honestly, like,
they fucked it up.
That's kind of like
gentrification.
Not just gentrification, but that's also where you have to realize that like local politics matter.
Yeah.
And your elected officials matter because the city didn't the politicians in the city did not see, they lacked the vision to see the possibility. They didn't want to pay for it. They didn't want to buy it. They didn't want to like go through the work to make it historical landmark. It just looked like a big fucking page, like a big debt to them. Instead of like a long-lasting cultural like something that they could have made, and they saw the opportunity to bring money and economics and development into a city that like but development for who, right? That gym's not for the people in HP. No. People in HP don't work out.
No, exactly.
Fucking have diabetes. We eat.
The only people working out are the ex-prisoners that are working out at Salt Lake Park, dude.
Right. Though that gym is for the people who are going to live in HP 5-10 years from now.
Yeah.
The fucking white, wealthy who can't afford to live in downtown because now that's all foreigners.
That's why I don't celebrate that fucking place, dude. Look at all the history in fucking Huntington Park, Salón de Mexico, fucking HP punk riots, dude. Look at all that fucking shit, man.
Woolworth, you know?
Yeah, dude. The basement of Woolworth would have been a dope ass fucking club, dude. But we don't have that fucking. We don't have that voice there, man. Nobody ever had that voice there.
It's not even the fucking clubs. It's just keeping the aesthetics of your own city.
Yeah.
And
the Warner Theater was a beautiful fucking building.
Yes,
dude.
it was. Yes,
not even that, dude. Like we talk about aesthetics, like fucking shout out Latino culture, shout out Mexican culture, but like you can't have a boulevard where every bar is a paisa bar.
Yeah.
Like it's not like every bar is a paisa bar. Every clothing store there is catering to a certain fucking style, and it's like, dude, like you walk down Pacific Boulevard and you have like
Tres Hermanos.
Not just that, no. Every couple blocks there's a Tres Hermanos, and in between that, for lease, fucking vacant space.
Yep.
Because they're selling the same shit every 3 stores.
Yeah.
And there's no like we just did the Open Streets event. Like they hired me to run the stage and book the openers for La Sonora Dinamita. We shut down like a mile and a half from the LA River to Vernon and Pacific Boulevard, all shut down. You could ride your bikes through there, skateboards, whatever. And the consultants who hired me they do the same event in like all kinds of cities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And homegirl, we were doing a walkthrough of Pacific of where we're gonna put the stage and where we're gonna have like certain placement and safety and all that. And she's just like, yo, like they don't even have like this boulevard with the size and the parking and the accessibility. Like there's not a lot of cities that have this. Like there's so much space and potential for development, like so much like possibility that like other cities that are super thriving, they don't even they do 4 times as much with not like with like quarter of it, right? Like it's like we have all of that and there's just like no real development that goes into it. She said it like it's gonna take some kind of private Latino, like someone from the city who becomes rich to come back and like pour money into it. That
was my hope for winning the lotto.
So it looks like we're voting for Shneaky president in 2032.
No, but I mean, think about it though. I mean, and I'll leave it at this: is they probably said something to me that kind of resonated. Is Raza Fuerte. All the businesses in Huntington Park are mostly owned by people who do not live in fucking Huntington Park.
They live in Downey.
Not even there. Where do the guys on Tres Manos live, Dick? Not on fucking Rita.
Nope.
No, they live in the rich part of Downey.
Nah, they live in Rancho Cucamonga, dog.
Yeah?
Honestly, no, it's like what you see in Linwood, like a lot of Koreans, a lot of like a lot of Italians, a lot of like a lot of Jewish folks who came in and bought property when it was cheap, and they're catering, quote unquote, to the demographic they think is there. But it's like HP's changing, man.
Yeah.
That's why people don't party in HP. They go everywhere else to party. They go to Hollywood, they go to Downey, they go to Arts District, they go everywhere but HP. And it's just
so look, people in Huntington Park, reduce the DUIs by walking to a party in Huntington Park, man. Walk to Pacific. Remember, we used to do foot patrols at fucking gigs, dude.
Fuck yeah.
Never had a DUI, might get jumped.
Honestly, like what we need a venue on Pacific that will cater to something alternative, whether it's rock or hip hop or EDM.
Anything but a paisa bar.
We need something where we could draw in fresh, new, young, hip people that live in HP. Yeah. But they're not into what HP is providing, you know? Like we gotta that's what we need. We need a venue to reach out to me, make some shit crack.
What we need is to take the fucking masses back. We need.
I don't like church, fool.
No, not mass, not new mass.
They said masa.
What we need is to stop having these fucking radio stations that get paid to play what the fuck they're playing all day, every day. And that's why you hear the same fucking song like 20 times in a row by every fucking DJ throughout the day, because they're getting play that shit. And I mean,
millions.
You as a fucking kid, 15-year-old, whether you're 15, you're fucking 30, whatever it is, you hear that song fucking 50 times on the radio a day. You're gonna tell yourself it's good.
Yeah, but I think that's dying,
oversaturation of that shit.
Nah, but that's dying, dude. Honestly,
it's even the social media, dog. It does it to you as well.
Look, once Elon Musk gives everybody free internet and people could stream Spotify from wherever they're at, regardless of whether they have Wi-Fi, the radio's done, dude.
I'll tell you what, though, we're gonna have Clika.
Clika.
That's gonna be our radio station online, dude. Clika all the time.
Thank you for tuning in to Clika. That was Sneaky we had at the top of the hour. Make sure you stay with us throughout the day for programming, arts, and culture. Clika. Brought to you by the masses.
And Schneebird.
La Clika.
All right, let's end on that note.
Yeah, I think we're done with this podcast. Hey, man, I really appreciate y'all for having me out. It's really fun to be able to do like this long form where I'm not trying to think about how to keep the conversation going and how to keep the space not dead. I do have music out. If anybody listening wants to check me out, you can find me on Shneaky.net. That's SHNEAKY.net. I have music videos on YouTube. You can find my music on Spotify and iTunes. I got music with Anthony right here.
You gotta look up Sneakiness on YouTube.
True.
That's how it comes up.
Or you could just Google Shneaky. Or you could go to my website and navigate it and find all the interesting Easter eggs that I put there for people that actually go to the site. But yeah,
It's been nice having I don't know about you, but it's been nice having a actual intellectual smart Perez here finally.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Shit.
Oh. Hey, no. He's talking about me. He's talking about me. I'm a Perez.
I thought he was talking about his brother.
No, this guy.
Man, this Chris Perez.
I tell you about Chris Perez.
But his brother was here before, so that kind of
that was still pretty good to go. But
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't even get through this podcast without being put on blast.
You know what? Hey,
Every time.
Homie was over here taking notes. That takes some intellect. Come on.
Yeah.
he's probably just writing down.
He's probably writing down like, yeah, fucking
big booty. He's writing down his own honey to do list.
Actually,
boats and hoes. Boats and hoes.
What you got? Toilet paper? What do you got? What do you got in there?
1 gallon of milk.
Clean bathroom.
Hey, that shit is his
You got
fucking
your-
grocery list.
All right, y'all.
Do you have your baby wipes in there?
This shit got completely derailed. What I need you to do though is on every second Friday of the month, visit me at the Redwood Room, Speakeasy. We're doing a real community where like people actually come, like looking forward to see all their fucking folks. People like artists bring out family. We've had Dark Side right there combating homelessness and trying to recruit artists to end homelessness. It's like I think we're doing something special. Again, the art walk. It's just a good time where like artists are trying out there to get their hustle. So if you want to go and support independent artists who are like really trying to do this, show up, buy some things. And then Indie Brewery, I have a whole year of entertainment planned out with them coming up. So be on the lookout for all that. I'm going to have flyers and calendars, and I'm going to really start pushing for 2019 because I'm pretty much wrapped up with this motherfucker. I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready to fucking tie up 2018 and move on to the next shit because it's been a blast, and I don't know. I'm looking forward to what we're going to do coming up. So, and I hope La Clika fucking is along for the ride, dog.
Always.
It was a freaking pleasure having you here, man.
And it was a pleasure for me as well being here for the first time with you motherfuckers, joining the fucking crew.
Welcome to La Clika, man.
I mean, earlier they said it. They said
we're gonna pop your anal cherry.
No. They said most popular vote of how they should check me into La Clika. So post your comments, whatever. Nothing about shaving my fucking head or bullshit like that.
You got good hair, by the way.
You don't
Not
got
gonna happen.
good head. You don't got dreads anymore. Why can't you cut that shit?
Dude, I shaved my fucking beard and I felt like I was just like,
Yeah, you look weird.
Exactly.
Okay, we're also gonna have
no hair.
We're also gonna have a PayPal account where you could donate $1 to purchase Shneaky for Anthony. And the more money we get, the more he has to do on one sitting.
Hey, you motherfucker.
And Schneeberg.
And Schneeberg.
Wait, what?
I don't know what happened.
What kind of podcast is
I
this?
know, fucking.
So if it's $10,000,
Welcome back to the drug.
he has to do $10,000.
Welcome back to the drug cast.
Sneaky Entertainment is
La
a family
Clika.
business. We don't condemn or condone any type of drug use, just so you know.
Hey, but that's all you talked about the entire podcast.
Hey,
It's the
man,
drug cast.
Because honestly, look, they legalized everything in Portugal, and fucking
We're moving to Portugal.
crime went down, disease went down. Fucking Mexico's already talking about legalizing. We legalized weed in basically almost all the city, almost all the states. Honestly, this drug war is bullshit. Prohibition doesn't work. It's just another excuse to fucking imprison and enslave black and brown people for shit that's fucking that the white people are doing at the same rate, but getting locked up half the time. So let's just cut the bullshit, end the drug war, end the stigma, let people get help, let people party, let people be free. And that's a real mic drop for you, for your ass right here.
We're out.
All right, we're out.